The big news, first of all, the one that concerns us directly. FIFA today rejected the petition by the NFF against DR Congo, where essentially, we're saying that DR Congo fielded ineligible players. They violated their own national citizenship laws. And essentially, we were trying to get them thrown out of the World Cup playoffs, and we wanted to take their spots. Previously, 3 pages of the petition have been shared on social media. People had read the 3 pages. They listed about 15 players that Nigeria alleged that obtained their Congolese citizenship either under false pretenses, or that the Congolese did not submit the right documentation to FIFA when they were getting their change of national association from whatever previous country to, DR Congo. And this has been in the news for a long time. I mean, the match was played in November. We, of course, remember we lost that game, unfortunately. And since then, a lot of people have held hope that the decision will come back in Nigeria's favor. Some people have not been too hopeful. Myself, I've kind of said this from the very beginning. Some people were calling me about Bele, where I said I'm not really, keeping my hopes up, because for me, we lost on the football field, and I just felt like we were grasping at straws, trying to get them to make a decision. But ultimately, after several rumors, reports, news, false reports, and everything in between, we have official confirmation via the NFF, because they have told us that they are going to be appealing the decision after the decision the petition was rejected by FIFA. Now, some things to note: we don't have access to the actual documents fully, including the supporting documents that either the NFF or the DR Congo Federation submitted to FIFA. So we can't know exactly what FIFA saw that got them to make this decision. But like I said on the show yesterday, for people that were on the Nigeria podcast yesterday, it's interesting with these countries that do not allow dual citizenship, because while it is in their own national laws, it is in their own national constitution, a lot of these countries, they make exceptions for certain people, for certain athletes, because they realize that these athletes are very unlikely to renounce their one citizenship in order to get a new one. I even made reference because like I said, I have a friend who is Cameroonian, or was now I would have to say was Cameroonian, and became a Canadian citizen. And he explained to me that when he became a Canadian citizen, it wasn't like the day he got his Canadian passport, somebody just called him and said, "Bro, yeah, return your Cameroonian passport." He still had it. So technically, he could still do things, with a Cameroonian passport. But he was like, the moment you travel back to Cameroon and you land in the country, they check their system, they see that you have a second citizenship. That is when they would revoke your citizenship. So had he decided to travel to, say, Nigeria, or travel to another country with Cameroonian passports, he could still have, even though, yes, that would be against his country's constitution. And he also mentioned that, however, the country does make exceptions for exceptional people, exceptional talents, exceptional athletes. That is why the likes of Brian Mbeumo can play for Cameroon. You think Mbeumo gave up his French citizenship to play for Cameroon? No, he holds both. So there are many cases of this kind of thing happening. And while I also understand that people were very, but it is in the DR Congo constitution, they cannot have this, they cannot have that. DR Congo could very easily have made exceptions for these players because they wanted them to represent their nation. Now, where I felt Nigeria could potentially have had a case was if there was indeed some misrepresentation or fraud in the documents that DR Congo had submitted to FIFA. But again, everybody that was talking about this was talking based on just their own opinion and their own feeling, because again, we were not there when DR Congo submitted the documents for the change of association of each of these players. We were not there. So could they have submitted fraudulent documents? Yes. But could they have also submitted all the genuine documents? Yes. And like I thought, and like many people thought, but some people disagreed with, whether or not the country actually, allows dual citizenship or not, it is not FIFA's jurisdiction or FIFA's job to enforce their own national laws. FIFA is concerned about their member association as far as football is concerned. And if they did everything to switch their member association properly, and they provided all the required documents that were obtained legally from DR Congo, then I personally felt like they were not flouting any of the laws. But some people disagreed. Obviously, Nigeria must have disagreed as well. I understand that a lot of people felt like it was quite shameless of us to try to challenge this and to try to, quote unquote, get into the tournament via the back door. I get it, you know, I completely understand why people would not have been happy with it. But at the same time, I'm also not too mad at them for trying. I'm also not too mad at them for trying. What I kind of do not like is the amount of hope that they gave to Nigerians. It's like, okay, you missed out on the tournament, you did not do well, you hired the coach that's kind of messed things up. Eventually, you tried to recover it. South Africa got docked 3 points, you still did not get there, and then you went and lost against DR Congo. And now you're just grasping at the last chance that you potentially have. I get it. I get it. But for you to now present it to Nigerians as if, oh man, this is a, you know, so this case is so solid, oh, we're going to do it, oh, they broke the laws, and then all the people in the media, exciting days ahead, is going to be a bombshell, you know, all kind of things. They presented it to Nigerians, you know, giving Nigerians that unnecessary hope, as if they were so sure of what was going to happen, of what was going to come out of it. And that's the part that I did not quite like, you know, because now again that the decision has gone in DR Congo's favor, the NFF have already said, oh, we're going to appeal this. We're not going to accept it. We're going to appeal the decision. Now, bear in mind, because this decision was made, sent to the NFF on March 17th, the Jamaica versus, or where am I putting Jamaica through? Jamaica or New Caledonia versus DR Congo game is supposed to take place on March 31st. So if Nigeria wants to somehow take DR Congo spot, they have to submit an appeal ASAP. FIFA's appeal board or committee would look at it. They will probably reject it. Then it will go to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS, and all of this has to happen before the 31st. We're going to spend money appealing this case, chasing this lost dream for no real reason. Maybe when Pius joins us, he will have more specifics about the cost of chasing something like this. But ultimately, this is an NFF. This is a federation that talks about how they don't have money, that owes people bonuses, that owes people salaries, that doesn't do anything right as far as from a financial point of view. For me, I understand them wanting to just try with the initial petition. But now that the petition has been rejected, I am of the opinion that, look, we should just take our L. We should go and work hard, and we should try to come better. We should try to come better. Even just yesterday, some people were here arguing and fighting me that no, as long as it violates the Congolese constitution, it should not be allowed, blah, blah, blah. And I was explaining that I don't think it is as simple as that. I'm not here to say, oh, I told you so, but I mean, I did tell you so. And look, people have conspiracy mindsets. You guys that watch me, you guys that listen to me know that I'm not very much of a conspiracy theorist. You know, oh, FIFA just does not like Nigeria. FIFA just does not do this. Oh, FIFA is racist. FIFA is this, FIFA is that. You know, some people said, you know, I personally felt like FIFA delayed the decision a little bit. That one, I kind of felt like that as well. I won't lie. I felt like they delayed it to a time whereby if they wanted to appeal and they wanted to drag it on, it would be a little bit too late for Nigeria to get all that process done. And even if somehow it gets overturned in Nigeria's favor, time would have passed. DR Congo already have qualified or not qualified for the World Cup, and everybody would have moved on from it. You know, because if somehow maybe CAS overturns the decision on April the 3rd and DR Congo have already beaten Jamaica, if DR Congo, you know, if the decision now gets overturned, Nigeria cannot take DR Congo spot at the World Cup. It will have to be Jamaica, you know. And if Jamaica beats DR Congo and then is overturned after, Nigeria cannot take Jamaica's spot because Jamaica won their game fairly. So ultimately, to just be like a legal victory, but wouldn't be there anyway. So it's a crazy situation. I know that a lot of Nigerians had hope. You know, Smith-Lai is not here, but Smith-Lai too gave a lot of you guys hope. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Ultimately, the decision has gone against us. I think we need to pick our heads up. Maybe when they appeal, I don't know what's going to come out of it. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this whole situation. And I have two people that are waiting to join me. One is a friend of mine, is someone that does great work in this Nigerian football space as well. So I want to hear his thoughts on this. We have Olu from the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast. Olu, welcome.
Thanks for having me, It's always a pleasure. How
yes,
you doing?
I'm very well. And I also have a sports lawyer, who I know that he's going to come with a unique perspective. He's going to come with, a unique understanding of everything that is happening here, both with the FIFA case and also the CAF case. Pius Unuboku, welcome, Pius.
Yeah, thank you very much, IoT.
Yes, thank you guys for joining me. Okay, I'll let Olu take it first. So Olu, obviously, you're an avid Nigerian football fan. You know, you've been covering the Super Eagles for a while now. You've been following all these updates. When the decision was made public today, after the NFF said they've received a decision, it hasn't gone in our favor, and they plan to appeal. What is your reaction to everything?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I have to be honest, like, no reaction. Like, I knew this was going to be the case. Like, call it false hope, but I was one of the people that honestly did not really pay this any mind. Like, this has been something we've been hearing for a few months. I remember Sports TV asking me in December. Maybe for 1 second, I said, okay, if we shamelessly get in, no problem. But I'll be honest, I paid it no mind. I didn't really think we had any grounds to stand on. A lot of what you've said, I echo already. You know, like you said, the way we find citizenship is very different from the way like countries legally interpret their own definition of, okay, you must renounce your citizenship. Even countries like France, there are certain countries that we know that diplomatically you can only hold one passport, but their players are everywhere. So I thought Nigeria clutching at straws as well. And honestly, I'm just even glad the saga is over. I've never in my life, I always have to go back to my number one enemy in life, NFF. I've never seen such an incompetent set of humans in my life. Like, honestly, it is enough. And then add the NSC who've decided that they want to try and steal some of the fame in case things go well. We already knew it was a farce. Like I even heard you say, it's not the fault of CAF or FIFA that Nigeria decided to have three coaches prosecute the entire World Cup qualifiers, or decide that Pesero will start Kelechi Iheanacho as a winger, or Benjamin Tanimo will play games for Nigeria. You know, like you said, they even deducted points from South Africa. There's nothing CAF did not do to make us get to the World Cup, or FIFA, sorry. But yet we didn't do it the right way. And then in any normal competent society, when there's such a failure like the World Cups or missing out on 2 World Cups, heads should roll. People should lose their jobs. That's what happens in a competent environment. We have a technical director. What does he do? What is KPIs? You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we've lost. Let's go and just talk about this petition. Is Nigeria the first country to have a complaint? And then I like what you said about them giving people false hope. Because honestly, I couldn't believe how, in fact, the noise was so much that even me for a second, I was like, is this thing really real? Like, can this really happen? Like, I'm sure, you know, people like Bakambu, they've been playing for Congo for years. Like, this has never been an issue. So even that whole administrative error part, honestly, like, bro, we know FIFA have the portal. We saw their names on the portal the day before they played Nigeria. In my opinion, there was nothing here. And I think, in fact, I know the NFF did this as a distraction tactic because nothing else makes sense to me. Yet again, we're in a place where we've had a good AFCON. They said organized friendlies for March. They carried our players to Jordan. Why is it always Nigeria that carrying to strange countries? The whole world decided not to play Russia for a reason. Nigeria said, "No, I want to play Russia."
But Jordan and Iran are going to the World Cup, or at least we're going to the World Cup.
Why must we go to Jordan, my brother? We are carrying our international players in the top 5 leagues to Jordan. There's a reason how many other top 30 countries in world football go to play football in Jordan if it's not a World Cup qualifier. Let's be serious now. If it's about doing lease agreements here in Europe, find somewhere else. Then now all of a sudden, the same NFF could not even come out with a statement about, oh, we're going to communicate what's happening with the friendlies in due time. We know this probably not happening.
We've heard that the friendlies have been moved to Antalya in Turkey.
And they'll play it today.
That's what we're hearing.
As NFF, this is my point. Is it on NFF?
There's no communication from the NFF. So this announcement was made by the Jordan Football Association.
But these are the things we are saying. It's just common. Look at you, IoT. You do this for sports. He communicates. Even us coming on to talk now, it's because of the things we've had happen today. It takes 1 minute to put out something. So we already know that such an incompetent organization, in my opinion, we're already seeing the effects, even post-AFCON, of not being able to build on your laurels. Somehow the coach's contract got leaked. They thought the public would turn on him. They don't know it's the one that gave the public, the country any hope. So I'm just really glad it's over. Look, the moment Ekong made that mistake and Zimbabwe equalized in March last year, 1 year ago, my mind has already been like, you know what? We're not going to the World Cup. They
All
gave
right.
us the lifeline. We lost to Congo, no problem. But honestly, I'm glad the saga is over. Nigeria, next time, win your games fair and square. We had 10 games to do it. We were the best team in terms of coefficients. There was no reason not to win. You drew against Zimbabwe twice. It was not Congo's fault. Congo went toe to toe with Senegal, and literally we know how they lost. So I'm glad that's done. Yes, it's a shame our AFCON team will not be in the World Cup because we look fantastic. But these are why we all complain about the ecosystem because it affects all of us. You're in Canada, Nigeria is not in the World Cup. Can you imagine? We just would never fathom these things.
All right, Olu, let me just stop you there so that I can get the thoughts of
Yeah,
Pius
man.
real quick. Pius, I'm very curious to hear what you think about this because again, you're a sports lawyer, so you have a unique perspective. You're not going to come into this with emotion or just with your own personal opinion. Your opinion will be based on your knowledge. So, Pius, with the NFF filing this petition, I have a two-part question for you. Part one is, do you think it was right for the NFF to file this petition in the first place? And two, do you think FIFA have made the right decision by rejecting the petition?
Thank you very much, IoT. So when the petition was filed, I'll be very honest with you. I was like, this is a waste of time. Absolutely waste of time, legally speaking. Yeah, we try to rely on the Congolese national law that says that a Congolese cannot have dual nationality. That is the general law. But there's something you mentioned earlier, which I've always stated for the past 3 4 months, which is, did we verify if there was a special exemption made for those players to be registered or to acquire the citizenship? Now, does the Congolese law forbid the Congolese president from granting exceptions to players to acquire citizenship just to play or to allow dual citizenship? Of course, I live in the United States. I know there are special routes to becoming a resident here and becoming a citizen. Yeah, we have general rule, and then we have the exceptions. Like if your job is substantial or has substantial benefit to the United States or Canada, you can be granted certain exceptions. Like you don't need an employer to file for a work permit for you.
Yeah.
So that has been my argument. So what if this was done? Did we verify if this was done? So we just jumped in on general rule that says, oh, you cannot have dual nationality, and we just went blindly into that, spending so much money on legal fees that should have been used for other things. So I just felt like the whole thing, if from my own objective view, I just felt like it was chasing shadows. That's what I feel. It was chasing shadows. It was legally chasing shadows because unless the NFF had information or documents uh which are not available to us. Maybe they have facts which we don't know. Then, but aside from this, if it was just based on what we've seen on social media, because I'm not privy to the petition filed by the NFF, you're not privy to that. So if it is based on what they have said in the interviews they've granted in the media, chats and everything, that the Congolese law does not allow for dual nationality. If that was the basis of the petition, then I would say that the case was dead before arrival, and it was just a total waste of time.
So you feel like FIFA have made the right decision now?
Absolutely, because yeah, for FIFA to have arrived at this decision, remember FIFA regulations places much credence on national law, and as we said here, if the constitution says you cannot do X, Y, Z, and the president has a special power to grant special status to these players, and they've done that, that is the national law. So FIFA cannot truncate that. So FIFA can only act based on what is available. So there's no evidence that these documents, unless NFF was alleging that these documents were procured illegally or they were forged, which was not the case from what we all know. What they are saying is that they cannot be dual nationals or dual citizens. That was the argument. And if that's the case, I think it was a case that was dead before arrival.
And let me just ask you, because in the 3 pages of the petition that we saw from the NFF, so when I go to points or article clause 3, however they call it in legal terms, and then I look at 3 they said Organic Law 04-024, 12th of November 2004, provides that one, exclusive nationality, and then it says the procedures for acquisition, recovery, proof, and renunciation of foreign nationality obtained through fraud, misrepresentation, concealment of another nationality is voidable and may be cancelled. Um, Yeah, so are they essentially, or were they trying to give the impression that, okay, even though they've got their DR Congo citizenship, that these passports were obtained through fraud? Or were they trying to say that the documents that they submitted to FIFA in order to prove their Congolese citizenship were fraudulent documents? What do you understand by that, Pius?
So I think it's just basically the same thing. They said citizenship is exclusive, the procedure for renunciation, blah blah blah. We are not arguing in this line. We are saying, what if a special proclamation or special status was given to this place, or an exemption was created? And I believe FIFA had all these documents before them, and I believe FIFA, they have the investigate, because in the disciplinary committee we have the investigative chambers, and we have the adjudicatory chambers. So I believe they would have investigated on all the documents provided by DR Congo, because like, they have member associations, they have their reps in Africa, member associations, CAF. They would have done their findings, their verifications, to see if actually all the documents that are being tendered by these players are legitimate. And I believe FIFA had every evidence or every document at their disposal before making this decision. So I just feel like this argument is just beating a dead horse. That was just it. Just beating a dead horse.
Okay, one more question that I have for you. In that page 3 of the petition as well, so they also mentioned that it is most curious that these players had been called up by the DRC before receiving FIFA clearance and approvals for the players.
Yeah.
He said, what gave FECOFA the confidence to take that unusual step? Now, does it matter that they were called up before? If it's that
that's very funny. I applied for visa to Europe last month. My visa has not been approved, but I went to Washington DC with the faith that my visa will be approved. And when the visa got approved, I took the visa and I booked my ticket. Why? I booked my ticket before the visa was approved. So does it invalidate the visa application? So they have done the right thing. They've called up these players because they have a window to submit their list. And then if the argument is if you field, not if you call up, if you field ineligible players. So if they were not cleared by that before the match, they won't field them. But they had faith that they had done their homework and they called up these players. And then when they were cleared, as Olu said, the legal portal is out there where you can see players that have been cleared by FIFA to represent other member associations. When they were cleared, they went to play football. So that argument is laughable. It's laughable when that is very laughable.
So
okay, before you go, it's like going to the bank and you're expecting an alert from Olu, and you go to the bank without seeing the money. Well, you already know that this money will come in the next 2-3 hours. So is there a crime for you to go to the bank without money in your account? No, because you've committed no crime being in the bank premises.
Yeah. Okay, very, very, very well said. So now let me ask you, what kind of this first stage that we've gone through now, what estimates, like how much have we burnt going through this first stage?
Well, we have a legal department, and to the best of my knowledge, I think I know a couple of them, and like I look up to one of them as my mentors in the industry. So I believe that they must have handled the petition themselves, but I don't know if they outsourced it. But if they outsourced it, man, they would have spent so much amount of money there. I don't know. It depends on the lawyer they outsourced it to.
Okay, but if they have their in-house lawyers, then they could have just used the in-house lawyers.
Of course, they have the director of legal, and they have the chief legal officer there at the federation.
And is it free to file a petition with FIFA?
Absolutely. Disciplinary protests are free.
Okay, so protests are
free.
No,
I know there's a 1,000 sorry. I think there's a 1,000 Swiss franc this thing, yeah.
Just like administration fee.
Yeah, administrative fee, yeah.
Okay. So let's say they've only spent 1,000 Swiss francs, which is forgivable. You know, we cannot vex too much for spending 1,000 Swiss francs. Okay, let me just Olu, is there anything that you want to just chip in based on everything that Pius has said from a legal point of view?
I mean, I don't know how, not even legal. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to it, but thanks for the insight, because it's good for us to know as well. But I don't know how true it is, but I don't know if, like, you saw Ghanaian journalist Gary L. Smith even writes that this same Nigeria that was trying to get a team thrown out on a legal basis, they filed their petition 12 days late. I don't know if you noticed. They did not pay the procedural fee, which was $1,280. I'm sure that's less than the amount that some of those Azamen spent to be in Marrakesh, because I saw them with my eyes in the hotels. they did not give enough supporting evidence plus other regulatory provisions. So Shehu Diko and Code are going up and down to harass news like their friend Pinnick. They'll go and be telling us that we'll magically have world-class stadiums in 18 months' time. Tell me the confidence he used to say that, oh, I'm sure the petition is watertight. Oh, we're definitely going to get the way. If they could not even do the simple administrative tasks. So it is what it is. Guys, I'm glad this saga is over. But what's pissing me off the most is I know my country people. We forget things quickly. These guys are not going to get the heat they should have gotten for the World Cup qualifiers. Yes, it was November, so it doesn't feel that long away. Bro, they've used AFCON feel-good factor to wash away their sins slightly. And now all of a sudden they gave people hope, go on harass news. So even the damage that's supposed to come, because let's be honest, if we're talking serious business now, a top 30 country in the world should not be missing back-to-back World Cups. Or should be sending their players to Rio. So they'll fly to Lagos, take flights.
Don't worry, we'll be out of that top 30 once the World Cup happens.
Of course we will be, and rightfully so, because we did not make it. So I'm just pained that these guys have distracted. If it's about PR, they've successfully done their work. And then for it to not happen on the day that CAF decided to be even dumber.
We'll get to the.
So before you go, I want to ask you guys this question. You're on IoT. So what for those that played Senegal to win the AFCON in bets, and of course they've won the bets. So what do you think will happen now that they overturn the decision?
I don't think the betting company can overturn it. No.
I'll be honest with you.
Just have to
Everything
take
I
that.
heard today is just.
So we'll get into that. Let's just finish on this FIFA NFF issue. So Pius, I want to come back to you. Now that the decision has gone against us, the NFF have immediately come out and told us that they want to appeal the decision. Like I mentioned, today is March 17th. In some countries itself is already March 18th. The game that DR Congo is supposed to play, their next game, is on March 31st. Jamaica will play New Caledonia some days before that. Do we even have enough time to somehow appeal, get the appeal heard, get a decision, and somehow have it overturned before that happens? What do you think?
Well, for overturning, I don't know about that. But if we have enough time to appeal, absolutely, yeah. Because look at the Olympics. We have the ad hoc, we have expedited proceedings where decisions are passed in 48 hours. Remember that this is not a regular case of appeal. This is an appeal that has a time-sensitive nature.
Yeah.
So we can file an appeal and get a decision before next week, Tuesday. But whether it will be overturned, I wouldn't comment on that until we get the decision.
And sorry, Pius, outside of your legal perspective, working in that world and knowing FIFA people, is there also things you're hearing about reputational damage? Because I don't think I work in advertising, so we're always thinking about things like this brand value. But I don't think we can quantify the kind of brand damage the NFF have caused Nigeria from this rubbish. We look like pussios. I'm sorry. We just look like we cannot accept.
Well, to be honest with you, to be honest with you, when it comes to filing claims, I don't think it brings any damage in our own field, because I have seen very vexatious appeals and cases, and you're asking yourself what's going on. So what the NFF has done, maybe as I said, maybe they have something we don't know about, a document or a fact they are privy to that we don't know about. So I don't think they've done damage. But when you see the cases we handle on a daily basis, cases being filed by some lawyers and some federations and clubs, what the NFF has done is nothing compared to those ones.
Okay. Everybody so legally fair, but I think generally, come on, anyway, it is what it is.
So, Pius, just correct me if I'm wrong, because I mentioned earlier, and I just want to fact check myself. So now they are going to file an appeal with FIFA's appeal committee, correct?
No, with CAS, the Court of Arbitration for Sports.
This is going straight to CAS.
CAS, yes, correct.
Okay, so this is going straight to CAS. CAS,
yes,
it costs a little bit of money to file with CAS, no?
They'll pay for disciplinary sanctions. I think it's free. I think if I'm right, I think it's free. Yeah, it wouldn't cost them. It wouldn't cost them money, because this is a disciplinary decision, not what they call it, and not a financial decision. It's a disciplinary decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just okay for them to go and appeal with CAS, and then they are going to hope that something comes up in the next few days. Nigerian fans, man, you guys, if you choose to maintain your hope, look, See, sometimes hope is what gets people through life. So I completely understand it. If there was no hope, you would not be there at all. But me, oh, I don't remove my mind from this thing. It's very unfortunate. Look, I was so excited. I live in North America. The World Cup is coming to North America. I was so excited at the potential to be able to go and watch and support and even create content for you guys, supporting my country at the World Cup. But I've kind of taken my L already. I'm like, okay, it's not going to happen. I was even trying to buy ticket for Ghana's match against Panama. Maybe I can just even go and watch Charles. I was trying to buy ticket for Senegal's game. So it is what it is. But yeah, we'll wait and see what comes up, through the appeal process. And who knows, maybe somehow they'll just say, okay, we got it wrong, or FIFA got it wrong. Boom, Nigeria, we are gonna play, and then we're not gonna lose against Jamaica. that would be the most hilarious thing if we somehow now went and lost against Jamaica. But yes, that is that. Okay, let me just somebody say, if you obtain a visa by deception because they didn't catch you until years later, does that mean the visa is magically valid? Again, this deception. That's the thing, and I think that's why a lot of people have been claiming that DR Congo did something deceptive. But what exactly did they do that was deceptive or fraudulent? Nobody has been able to come and tell us. The NFF people have not been able to tell us. Sports Commission people have not been able to tell us. But they've put this thing in the mind of people that they somehow did something fraudulent. What is it that they did that was fraudulent? You can't. Nobody has been able to say. They are just claiming that something was fraudulent. And I think that
why we act like we don't know Congolese people. In England, there are a lot of Congolese people. I'm sure a lot of them have Congolese passports and British passports. Like this, everybody's just you see. NFF. Look at how people are still small hope. They're still asking questions, guys. Support your African brothers.
but yeah, let's, for the sake of time, let's just move on quickly. Let's go into the other big decision that was made today. The Commission of African Football have announced, let me even look at their press release and speak properly. So they said the CAF Appeal Board decided that in application of Article 84 of the regulations of the CAF Africa Cup of Nations AFCON, the Senegal national team is declared to have forfeited the final match of the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025, with the result of the match being recorded as a 3-0 in favor of the Fédération Royale Marocaine de Football. That's the Moroccan Football Federation. They said the Commission of Africa de Football Appeal Board decided that in application of the regulation, it has been given to Morocco. And regarding the application of Articles 82 and 84 of the regulations of CAF AFCON, the appeal board made the following rulings. The appeal lodged by the Moroccan Federation is declared admissible in form and the appeal is upheld. The CAF disciplinary board decision is set aside. The CAF appeal board further finds that the conduct of the Senegal team falls within the scope of Articles 82 and 84 of the regulations of the AFCON. The protest lodged by the Moroccan Federation is upheld. It is declared that the Senegalese Football Federation, through the conduct of its team, infringed Article 82 of the regulations of Africa Cup of Nations. In application of Article 84 of the regulations of AFCON, the Senegal team is declared to have forfeited the match, with the result recorded as 3-0 in favor of Morocco. All other motions or prayers for relief are dismissed. They also made some other rulings as far as disciplinary action against people, but we won't get into all of that. The big deal is that the AFCON has now been overturned. The final was played, in January?
Yeah.
And now in March. After Senegal have gone home and have celebrated and have done their parade, the trophy is now being given to Morocco. Now, my opinion on this whole situation, I get how silly this looks. I completely get how silly this looks. I completely understand it. It looks silly. It looks crazy. Some people are saying that it sets Africa football back. Some people are saying it's shameless. Some people are saying that CAF is behaving like INEC. All sorts of things that people are saying. I completely get it from a fan's point of view too. We all saw the Ojoro that was happening for Morocco. So we're all so upset. And I don't think that anybody would ever even be able to, even Moroccans, can they go outside and claim this AFCON title? I don't think that they will be able to do it. But sometimes I like to think of things logically, or a lot of the times, So when I saw this decision, I said, okay, you know what? They are referencing Articles 82 and 84. So I said, okay, let me go and read up Articles 82 and 84 of the AFCON regulations to understand what they are referencing. And Article 82 of the AFCON regulation says, if for any reason whatsoever, a team withdraws from the competition, does not report for a match, or refuses to play, or leaves the ground before the regular end of the match without the authorization of the referee, it shall be considered loser and shall be eliminated for good from the current competition. The same shall apply for the teams previously disqualified by decision of CAF. That's Article 82. And Article 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of Article 82 shall be eliminated for good from the competition. The team will lose its match by 3-0 unless the opponent has scored a more advantageous result at the time when the match was interrupted. In this case, this score will be maintained. The organizing committee may adopt further measures. These provisions deal with forfeits, refusals to play, withdrawals, or leaving the field without referee approval during any phase of AFCON. The organizing committee has final authority on related decisions and may impose additional sanctions. The regulations referenced in the CAF official documents and competitions are publicly available on CAF's website, so you can find it on CAF's website if you want to read. So now, based on that understanding, this decision was made following the letter of the law. Senegal left the field before the tournament, before the match was done, against the authority of the referee. So, according to the letter of the law, you can say, well, they took the right decision. But the referee allowed them come back on the field to complete the match. So, how do we look at it? Are you saying that when the referee brought them back on the field, had Morocco decided that no, you already left and Morocco did not play, would that also count as refusal to play on Morocco's part? Or would that have been first refusal, so the second one doesn't count? So it gets a little bit tricky. I kind of also want to understand that maybe CAF is looking at it that if we don't take action against Senegal now, in the future, the next AFCON in 2027, Nigeria versus Ghana final, if Ghana qualify, what is stopping Nigeria from saying, we feel that Ghana is cheating or the referee is cheating for Ghana? Oh yeah, we know they play again. You know, it's like, I understand that, again, in law, when a case is decided in a certain way, future cases will reference that previous case and say, oh, but look what happened in the case of XYZ. So CAF might be looking at it that if we allow Senegal get away with this now, in the next one, if somebody walks off the field, the person can reference the decision that we made in 2026 and say, oh, but you allowed Senegal do it, so why should I get punished for it now? And then it continues on and on and on like that. It's a very tricky situation. It's a very tricky situation. You know, people are complaining that, oh, Morocco is cheating and trying to get the tournament. Well, they've got the trophy now through the back door. And where I want to call it out is the hypocrisy of Nigerian fans. Look, I am as upset as anybody else that this trophy has been awarded to Morocco. Don't get me wrong. But Nigerian fans cannot be hypocrites in the sense that you are claiming there is nothing wrong with us filing a petition against DR Congo because we feel like DR Congo flouted the rules. Then if Morocco feel like Senegal flouted the rules, why do you now see something wrong with Morocco filing their own protests to get DR Congo, to get Senegal kicked out? Morocco have done the same thing that Nigeria have done. They felt like somebody broke the laws and they are going to the body to say, hey, we need you to make judgments. The only difference is that this one was filed in favor of Morocco and the other one was filed against Nigeria, and we're upset about it. So when I saw people that were supporting Nigeria's protest but were somehow against Morocco's protest, I'm so confused. Because for me, I look at it and I say that this is very, very similar. You felt somebody broke the rules and you took it to the body. Just that one went against you, one went against the person that you felt like you should have been in favor of. It is, again, I think because we watched everything on the field, it is quite a shame. It is disappointing. You know, Morocco should not be proud of this. See, somebody in the comments is telling me it's a race thing. So this is what I'm thinking of it. Somebody saying it's a race thing. You know, but for me, I think it's just a very tricky position. I feel like CAF were also in a tight spot in terms of what happens in the future if something like this happens. But yes, let me get you guys' thoughts on this situation. I'll start with Olu and then we'll come to Pius to give us his own legal interpretation of everything that is going on as well. So Olu, CAF stripped Senegal of the title, gave it to Morocco. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Unbelievable. Like, look, I think at the end of the day, we have to look at sport for what it means, or we have to look at the bigger picture. CAF is only as big as its flagship tournaments, and your
Mm,
flagship tournament is only as credible as you make it. We had Motsepe not even consult his board and decided to move CAF to 4 years in a row. That's already something that's already interesting. But then now, all the justifications of why he said they wanted to do that, make more revenue, make your tournaments look amazing, whatever it may be, you've basically removed the argument in one swipe. It's all well and good saying legal arguments, but we all don't watch football just for legal reasons. It is
mm,
sports at the end of the day. They
yeah.
all tug on the heartstrings of emotions. You're already trying to give credibility to your tournaments. You know you already suffer and struggle with the credibility of your tournament. The fact that you're still moving dates in 2025 and 2026, to accommodate for all these things. And then you now tell us that, oh, you are bringing record revenues to CAF, all these things. There's no way we can slice this bread and say this is not a massive, massive botch or stain on CAF and the Africa Cup of Nations. In fact, sometimes I almost think all of us that are working to promote Nigeria or these things, even just as a side hustle, whatever it may be, just for the love of our countries, what's the point when things like this happen? Because whether we like it or not, we have to admit that this is not going to be favorable on CAF in any way, shape, or form. And you have to just admit that that is the way it is. Morocco, I understand what you're saying about Nigeria appealing with, like I said, I was not a fan in the first place. But the difference for me in this one is Morocco played the final. There's a jurisdiction when it comes to match results during a game, unless like the offense that occurred, and I'll wait for Paris to tell us, like fielding an ineligible player, someone that should not be playing, played the match. But there's a sacrosanct thing in football where more often than not, the final results based on the ref is final. Is why we
Yes,
spend so much time debating and fighting about football. When you have such a flagship tournament and you see Senegal win it, Morocco decided to come back onto the pitch themselves, took the penalty themselves, missed the penalty. Then we saw Pap Gay score an excellent goal. CAF themselves gave the award themselves. Motsepe stood there, Infantino stood there. Senegal have celebrated. Morocco have dried their tears. They've signed a new coach. They're going to the World Cup. I just think the reputational damage is too much for something like this to set a precedent, especially in such a final. And I'll be honest, I can still see CAS overturning this decision, but I'll wait for Pius to give us the real legal. But even without my legal knowledge, I cannot see this decision standing because ultimately everybody agreed to the decision of the referee. The
The match
referee
concluded.
allowed the Senegalese team come back onto the pitch. Whether you say it was almost 15 minutes, was over 15 minutes or not, that happened. Everybody shook hands and continued playing the match. Now, 2 months later, exactly, I think it was even January 18th, because I came back that day. Look at the kind of shame. I mean, it takes some kind of a hell of a news article to overshadow Champions League nights, especially with City and Chelsea going out. I'm sure you're excited about that part, bro. But my God, I just think it almost feels like CAF are literally shooting themselves in the foot and destroying all the good work that we've seen from these last two AFCONs. Because objectively, they were amazing. We've literally all dusted our tears, we've wiped it away, and we're facing club football and the World Cup. And to now do this, I just think it brings too much reputational damage to what football means and what the AFCON means and what the spirit of this whole thing called football is that we watch means. So what the hell is the point? So even if legally they might have had a word, I know there's still an exception in terms of the ref and him having the final say. So this really just smells of, and then we cannot forget the factor of them now canceling the women's AFCON with 12 days to go based on unforeseen circumstances from this same Morocco, and all of a sudden a few days later they awarded AFCON. Like, Motsepe, you think you're Infantino. The difference is Infantino is FIFA. He is Swiss. They're neutral, even though he likes cozy up there. Motsepe, look, AFCAF is not Morocco. So something smells very fishy here. But ultimately, I think when all is said and done, CAS will overturn it. And even if they don't, Senegal are the people's champs, man. Like, you can never take away the feeling, bro, whether you like it or not. So it is what it is.
All right, Pius, this is where I'll bring you in.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
let's
I've been
get
waiting. I've been
let's
waiting to jump at
let's
it, but
get your thoughts on this. You know,
Olu
so
already. In fact, I already wrote an article on this already. I will work on an article this evening.
okay,
So first and
take it
foremost,
from
Olu,
anywhere.
yeah, Olu, thank you very much. So perfect. Yeah, Article 82 to 84. CAF relied on that. Yeah, this is not sentiment, but I think that rubbish was trash and stupid. That's with due respect to the CAF disciplinary body. Look at. I think I will look at the doctrine of the field of play doctrine. The referee is the master and lord of the football field. Whatever decision he makes, it's final. As regards the result of the match. Yeah, disciplinary sanctions, yellow card, red cards can be appealed, but not the result of the match. Now, they are basing this whole argument on Article 82, saying walking off the pitch. Now we have to. In fact, I would draw up in my. I will draw up my. I made some notes already on this, so we have to look at temporary walking off the pitch, temporary refusal to resume play. Remember, if you walk off the pitch, it presupposes or it means that you never came back to the pitch.
Hmm.
The Senegalese left the pitch, of course, whether Mane remained behind, which is not so significant. And then they came back after 14 minutes. Now, you're saying, when you talk about precedents, what they should have done is set a precedent that, yeah, the decision of the referee is final. But if the referee had called off the match after 10 minutes or 12 minutes, we'll have a different ball game.
Hmm.
Now, another question here. What if Morocco had come back and scored the penalty and went ahead to win the AFCON? So I think it's a laughable situation. So I think I'll just take you guys to Article 5 of the IFAB laws of the game that provides that Article 5.2 actually, that the decisions of the referee regarding facts connected with play, including whether or not a goal is scored and the result of a match, are final. You cannot change it. If the referee says it is 0-0, you cannot change it. You cannot review it because of the integrity of the game.
Hmm.
Now, was that decision made under duress? We all watched the match. No, absolutely no. That was Morocco, who would have influenced the referee under duress to rule in favor of Senegal. So the argument of duress or undue influence cannot even stand in this case. So I feel like this decision was made against the standing law. CAF took a very strict interpretation, which cannot stand at all. Which cannot stand at all. They cannot say that they refused or they walked off the pitch. It was a temporary refusal, which was cured by the referee allowing the play to continue.
Hmm.
If when they left the pitch, the referee put a countdown and says, if you guys don't come over, if we don't have 7 players on the pitch after 10 minutes, the match is a forfeit. We will not have this argument.
Hmm.
But it seems they all basically went to beg Senegal to come back to the pitch, and they finished the game, and the referee called the final whistle, blew the final whistle, and we'll have a final result. So I believe that if Senegal goes to CAS, to be honest with you, they will upturn this judgment. They're going to upturn this judgment. Of course, they will set this precedent there. The referee had the decision to have called off the match after 10 minutes of them temporarily leaving the pitch. He would have ended the match there, and they will not have this challenge today. But he did not do this, and then the match went to a logical conclusion. So when you look at Article 82, it does not contemplate walking off and walking back.
Hmm.
Because if you walk off, it means someone. If you walk off and walk back, it means the referee and the match officials allowed you back on the pitch. So this can be termed a temporary walk off the pitch, and then the players came back and they were admitted and game continued.
Hmm.
So Article 82 here, Article 82, of course, the law cannot provide for everything. The law cannot contemplate or foresee every situation. So I believe that this particular case provides an opportunity for CAS. Of course, CAS will look at the matter de novo from scratch under Article 57 of the CAS code. They'll look at all the evidence, look at all the exhibit, look at the very smart report.
Hmm.
And then, of course, as I said earlier, if this was in Senegal, we can say safety, security, undue influence, pressure. Of course, that might be a factor. But yeah, I was in Morocco personally.
Hmm.
Those factors were not in place. So I think what will be applied here is Article 5 of the IFAB laws of the game, which is that The referee is the law and the grand commander of the field of play. Whatever decision he makes as to the result of a play is final. So I think Senegal, they have a huge chance to upturn
For appeal.
this decision on appeal.
All right. I have a question here from Uche. So Uche is asking, is the word ground interchangeable with field? Because in the law they mention leaving the ground. I think in Article 82 it mentions ground, but in Article 84 it mentions field. Are those words interchangeable, or is the ground like the entire stadium, or is it just the white lines of the pitch?
Of course, the referee cannot make a decision cannot make a decision to have effect in the dressing room, and you can say that the dressing room encompasses the ground of payment, the ground of play actually. So when the ground is used, it means it's used interchangeably with the field of play.
Okay. So the ground is interchangeable with field of play. Okay. So something else that I said, Pius, because I said I think it is quite hypocritical for Nigerians to be criticizing Morocco's chasing this AFCON win after they lost the game. Nigerians are saying, look at Morocco, they are cheating, they are shameless. Why are they going to petition? They already lost the match. But I'm saying, isn't it the same thing that Nigeria is doing? How do you feel about that? Is Morocco doing anything wrong by trying to chase this trophy even after losing the game?
Oh, well, to be honest, I will speak from a legal perspective. Well, I think that's wrong. That's wrong of us to say. Everybody, you have the right to appeal whatever you have the right to, whatever you want to appeal. So yeah, so I think it's hypocritical from Nigerians to tell somebody how to exercise or her legal rights. Whether I agree with the decision, I don't agree. But whether Morocco had the rights to file an appeal, absolutely they have the rights.
All right.
I think that's fair. It's just the prize at hand. Like, at the end of the day, guys, we all watch football to win trophies. I even have some of my senior men here. They'll tell me everything in football is about trophies. Qualifying for things is not it does not matter. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, so there's something. If you look at there was a decision in Albania versus UEFA and Serbia. Of course, I don't know. I don't know if you remember the match. Now, in that case, the CAS looked at whether there was an existing direct, clear, and unconditional order from the referee to the players to resume play, and they refused. So in this particular match, there was no such direct and there was no direct and unconditional order to the players to say, if you don't resume in 5 minutes, if they had not resumed and he declared the match for a forfeit subsequent to that order, we will not have this case. So that's why I said that this is it's not delicate for me. Yeah, I think this would be not so straightforward because they have to review the match report. So if the referee says that he issued an order for them to resume and they refused, so why did he allow play to resume when they came out?
That's kind of what I was going to ask you. What if the referee says, "Oh, I told them that if they don't come in 5 minutes, I'll cancel the match." They didn't come, but just because it's the final, I just decided to allow it.
That's a probation. That's a probation probation. You can't say that. You allowed it. In fact, you allowed it. So as I said earlier, what the CAS look at all the circumstantial and direct evidence and facts. Remember, we're in Morocco. In fact, when I watched Nigeria Morocco, I don't know if you were there, Olu. Like I was at the stadium.
I was there, my brother.
After the match, they loved us. After the match, they loved Nigeria so much because they won us. Man, if we had won that match, I don't know what would say what would have happened at that stadium because IoT in a sort of over 65,000 capacity, we had less than 2,000 Nigerians there.
When we move up to 500, I'll be surprised.
Okay. So
let me just quickly. Let me just quickly take a comment here, just because this is what we're talking about. So Adedamola is saying that he says, IoT, I believe that Nigeria and Morocco both have a right to lay petitions against DR Congo and Senegal respectively if they felt there was cheating. Countries lay petitions against each other all the time, and that's pretty much what I was trying to say. I think Nigeria is free to do whatever they feel they want to do after they feel like they are Congo cheated. The same way Morocco is free to do whatever. It's, to me, it's shameless on both parts. But
and to be clear, I agree with you on that part.
If you want to chase it, if you want to chase it, feel free to chase it. The shame is different from, because at the end of the day, as much as I'm saying it's shameless from Nigeria's part, had they said Nigeria is going to the World Cup, I'll tune in when it's June, man. I'll tune in and I'll watch it.
But I love what you just said, IoT, about the shame. At the end of the day, even with this whole thing, even though I mentioned the NFF will catch some heat, some people in Gotham might say, Nigeria tried to go through back doors. Truth of the matter is, this petition being thrown out for Nigeria, it's not going to do that much for us. We already know we're not going there. We'll face our next round of qualifiers and we go. But ultimately, the reason why the World Cup is the biggest thing in the world is because of the emotions attached to watching your country. And at the end of the day, we watch everything to see who wins. And yes, you could say, okay, it was forfeited and all that, but the truth of the matter is, in the spirit of the game, I just think fair play to Morocco. I can see why they did it. It's been 52 years. Like Pius said, I was in Morocco. I don't think I've ever seen a country so desperate to win a tournament in my life. When we lost the semi-final, I had people, some guy tried to kiss my head in the toilet. I almost slapped him. Like, I'm telling you, they were really moving so unruly. Like, if not that we were so few, I would have even been scared. I'm telling you, bro. If we had won, I'm not sure if it would have been the other way around. So we know they didn't do this in the spirit of the game. And ultimately, like I said, Senegal have done the work. We watch AFCON because we want to see who wins it, who lifts the trophy, who goes back home, who celebrates. Senegal have done it. And now all of a sudden, you want to see history books to tell you that you won an AFCON after 52 years. Unfortunately, it don't work like that, my guy. Or 50 years, sorry. So it is what it is, but I'm glad Pius already confirmed. I can't wait for CAS to overturn it.
And I really do hope that CAS overturns the decision, because it will just be embarrassing for the entire African football. In fact, this is already embarrassing for African football. But it would even be more so embarrassing if it is upheld and Morocco will now tell us that they actually won AFCON 2025. We know that in football.
If I don't know, I will share this with you guys. So this is not the first time this is happening. We look at Wydad Athletic Club versus Espérance Sportive de Tunis. Award was 18th of September 2020, Champions League, where Wydad protested a disallowed goal and via unavailability. Match was stopped. The panel found that Wydad refusal to resume persisted. Referee waited. So if remember, and then they said 90 minutes and the match ended. Card bodies imposed for future. So yeah, so this is not the first time we've had these issues in CAS. So there are a lot of precedents. And to be honest with you, this case will be upturned. Yeah, the case will be upturned.
All right.
Too many things are in check. It's not last game of last season when Aston Villa had a goal overturned at Old Trafford. They missed out on Champions League. This is not the first time. This is not the second time. This won't be the last time. But for the integrity of AFCON and even for selfish reasons, ILT, for us that we love Nigeria, this is the confederation we play in. At the end of the day, we just cannot afford this kind of reputational damage or nonsense. It's too much. We're literally fighting against the tide already. And then this now comes, like, what are we talking about, bro?
I want to ask Pius a question very quickly. Smidlai is waiting to come on, so I'll bring Smidlai on as well. But Pius, I want to ask you a question. So do you think this is maybe a moment where CAF needs to go and check their regulations and amend a little bit? Because like we're mentioning, should the referee have had a clear direction on how long he's supposed to wait before the match is declared null and void? I understand that maybe people were a bit more, they gave a little bit more leeway because it's the final and nobody wants the tournament to end in the referee just saying, okay, the players have walked off, so game over. But is there any kind of amendment that can be made to the regulations to make it clearer for next time something like this might happen?
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, I think that's where we'll draw the line. Maybe they should put like a clear, if a team walks off the pitch, I don't know, maybe there should be a defined timeline that if a team refuses or walks off the pitch, or if they have less than 7 players on the pitch for 11 aside, and after 10 minutes they refuse to come back to the pitch, the match should be declared the forfeit. Because I think that would be a balanced view, because it means that even if after 10 minutes the referee admits those players back, the match is a forfeit, because law says after 10 minutes it's a forfeit. So I think that will create a balance here. But you allowing players to leave, and you did not, and then there was no director to come back, and then they came back and you resumed the game without any form of duress. There's no issue for future here. So I think a threshold should be established.
All right. 2 more comments I want to take very quickly. So one says 2 of the best Nigerian football YouTubers collab. Shout out to you, Olu. Igbinovia is hailing both of us.
Hey, my man.
I also have a comment here from Adidamola. He says every country has a right to appeal to CAS. Football is about fair play. There is no shame in petitions and court cases. Okay, maybe because I said it's shameful. I mean, when I say it is shameless, like shame is I mean, that's like,
I know what you meant. Yeah.
I don't mean it like, oh, it's shame to take it to court. If you feel like somebody broke a law, you are free to pursue justice. What I just mean is that it's kind of like, come on, bro.
It's
Like,
somehow.
are you being for real right now? You don't.
Yeah,
I don't know
like,
the word
come on,
to
man.
use, but it's like, come on, bro. Like, I already beat you now. Like, what's all this that you're trying to do? You know, that's kind of what it is. But at the end
And
of the day,
ultimately,
at the
I
highest
think
level, nobody cares about all those. Come on, bro. Like, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to be the best. Everybody wants to get to that competition. So that's why they would say, F all of that. I'm going to pursue this thing as much as I can. So don't take that word shame too seriously. Like, I know it's not a shameful act to file a petition. I'm just kind of like, it's just like, come on, bro, like just take your L. You know, it's like everywhere is like, bro, just take your L. I've been going, you know.
honestly,
Just
and
leave
they
it.
really should. There's even an angle at the end of the day, bro. Even though we hate to compare because we think we're at the level and should match, this will not happen in the Euros or
You know,
even
okay,
Copa
so,
America.
see, speaking of other competition, so I tried to check. So when I saw this thing, I tried to check what the law is. Should something like this happen at, say, the World Cup? You know, I tried to check what the law is. And Pius, correct me if I'm wrong, because what I was finding online is that essentially the FIFA law and the CAF Article 82 and 84, it kind of says the same thing based on what I was seeing online. FIFA's own is World Cup Regulation Article 6 and Disciplinary Code Articles 16 and 28. It kind of says the same thing about refusal to play without specifying how long a team has to have left the field for or anything like that. And it also says the same thing that if the team refuses to play, the other team will be awarded 3-0 and the team is expelled from the competition from that point. So like the fact that FIFA's own World
Yeah,
Cup regulation says the same thing, does that have any effect here?
yeah, but as we've been saying, I don't think we've had instance where uh, players refuse what they call it. Players walked off the pitch. I think this is a novel one. Walked off the pitch, came back and they were
Came back.
readmitted. The match continued to an end, and the party filed a protest.
Mm.
So why did Morocco protest? Why did Morocco protest when they
So,
came out to the
so I guess
pitch?
the big factor here is the fact that the match continued and the
The
match
match continues. Yes,
came to
I
a
think that's the
losing
big fact here.
conclusion.
And they
So
came back to
maybe
play.
what Morocco should have done is when Senegal came back, Morocco
So
should
we're
have
not
said,
playing.
we said we're not playing.
We're
No,
not
no,
playing.
no, no. I think the referee. I think the referee would have made on a few decisions, and so I think I will attribute this to I would attribute this to the match officials, the referee, the match commissioners, everybody. This is their fault that we are in this issue here because I don't support what Senegal did. Sentiment aside, I'm a lawyer. No matter how bad, no matter how tough or a judge or how biased you think a judge is in the court of law, you can't walk out of the judge. You'll be sent to jail.
Mm.
You'll be sent to jail for contempt. So even though emotions, I'm a football fan. I was at the pitch. I felt bad for that penalty. I'm not an expert. Emotionally, I feel maybe because I wanted Senegal to win. I feel like that shouldn't have been a penalty, but that's the referee's decision.
Mm.
So Senegal walking off the pitch was absolutely it is not excusable. It shouldn't be tolerated. It should not be encouraged in football. That's bad character or bad conduct. It should not be encouraged. But yeah, that's my emotion. That's law. But they came back to the pitch and you allowed the football to continue and they won the match. So what's going on here? So I think this will be a novel argument. I look forward. In fact, I'm going to reach out to Senegal possibly and see if they can have me on.
Yeah.
Even I know they will have big lawyers, very experienced because every lawyer in the world now will be sending proposals to the Senegalese football association to represent them for free because
That's
this is going to be a big case. Even if it's just to be a research assistant or those, I don't mind because this will be an interesting decision from CAS.
Hopefully that would be a good one. Okay, let me bring
Yeah, thank you
Timidayo
very
in.
much.
Let me
let
bring
me. I can
Timidayo in.
even.
Pius, do you have to leave or are you still here with us?
No, I'm here, but if you want to bring Smith, I'm here.
No,
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 but
no.
I
I'll
need to
add.
leave though. But
Okay, only if you have to leave, that's fine. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
although Speedlight is here, I'll listen in the background. I'll listen in the background.
All
Much
right, all
love,
right.
guys.
Let me just, I won't be long here. Just chip in
Thank
two
you.
things. I've been hearing, shout to the house. I've been hearing you
Yeah.
guys. It's been a very nice conversation. Let me just, it's been a very historic day in African football, not only Nigerian football, but African football. But, I am just talk about Nigeria matter first, Abi. And talk
Okay,
about
you
the,
can start anyone. You can start with the NFF or the CAF or FIFA or CAF. Anyone.
okay, for me, the FIFA matter is, I don't know how to put it, but, um, people have been coming out to say that why the NFF sent a petition to FIFA. I don't think they are within their rights to send a petition to FIFA. And if they think that something is wrong, they can look for ways to address it. I always believe in something that everybody should have their day in court. Then, if it's against you, so be it. I saw a beautiful piece from Kule Shilaya, respected journalist, a veteran. He said so many things about, submitting the petition very late, not paying the initial fee of 1,000 Swiss franc, or what they call it, and also Nigeria not having a credible evidence to back those claims up. So for me, see, IoT, when there is a fraud, there is no timeline for submission of evidence. If it's a fraud is committed, a fraud is committed. Nigeria did not submit petition against the Bo Mokwana, 24 hours after the game against Lesotho. They picked it up. If a fraud is a fraud. All those 24-hour rule is when you say, okay, like the one I slap you, I slap me, the one that happened, a throw bottle, all those things are the 24-hour, the chair faults, that's a 24 hours thing that you have to do it before you submit it. So if a case is a fraud, it is a fraud, and you need to be addressed. FIFA is very smart with what they did. They did not address the case. They look at it on technicality matter. I don't know, it's too late. I didn't submit, it's 2 weeks after, and everything. IoT is very difficult to gather evidence, in that 24 hours to submit to FIFA. It's as if, I'm sorry to divert though, sorry, it's like they give you 180 days to come and prove that you won an election in Nigeria, a presidential election in Nigeria. You can never prove it. You can never prove it beyond reasonable doubt. It's a lie. Except you see some technicalities, you cannot capitalize on it now. So about that is late, I don't agree with that. About if NFF didn't pay money, I don't trust them. Somebody might not pay the money, but in terms of picking up a fraud case, I think it should not be time banned. We are trying to protect the integrity of the game, and that should be the most important thing. So I know that they are trying to go to CAS. They want to. I know that they've got judgment about 10 days before. But it's like when they're submitting that thing to CAS, is when they now said to Nigerians that, what, we are going to CAS. So I think they got their judgments in pretty accurate earlier. So that is that. So the issue about backdoor. Some people have won the AFCON through the rooftop now. So it's not the backdoor again. So it's so everybody is going through the backdoor. But sometimes when Nigeria try to go through the backdoor, it seems that we are the big brother of Africa. We are well respected. Why are we trying to do all these things? That's on Nigerian's case. I wish them the best of luck.
Yes, well, let me ask you a question just on this decision that has been made by FIFA now. And even when we were speaking, you mentioned the word fraud, and somebody is asking here. A lot of the time, even in the 3 pages of the petition that we saw, Nigeria is alleging fraud, misrepresentation. What exactly are we saying that they did that was fraudulent? What is this exactly that was fraudulent?
The issue was that anytime that there's any breach to FIFA rule, FIFA come back and make adjustments. So FIFA made the rule in 2020. The rule is to stop something they call nationality shopping. When people just wake up one day and go and get a player. So Golis did that. They went to Brazil to go and nationalize some Brazilians, give them to Golis passport to go and play for Togo. The same thing too. Tunisia did that. In the case of Clayton and Dos Santos, they won the AFCON for Tunisia in 2004. So I think FIFA is trying to look for a way to stop these things. So they call it nationality shopping. So they said something in Article 7 or so in the LGBT rule that you have to do. They said in 2020, now run a commentary in 2021 that if you want to get a passport, you have to get it based on national law, what the national law says. So, and I think that's the basis that NFF complained that these guys did not follow the guideline you put here. So, which is right? See, IoT, I'm not a lawyer. I know that you are surrounded by lawyers.
Pius is a lawyer.
Pius we know. I know I met Pius in France, but the way Pius looks online is different from where he looks physically. I think I saw you in France, Pius.
Yeah.
So This man a freshman. So let me just continue. You know, when they saw that NFF submitted a petition, which rightfully so, it's now left for FIFA to see exactly if these people actually would breach the law. So so I don't know why people are breaking, saying, is that commentary? Say, okay, you know what? You have to drop it. For example, now, I don't know if you know the story about Tobias Lawal. Tobias Lawal could not get Nigerian passports because of the Ultra. You remember it was in Nigerian camp?
Yeah.
Remember? Yes, it was there. So that is the NFF test. I don't want to read comments. You comment this thing. Because people are saying that nonsense referendum. I'm going to call them say that you know what they said there? Was they said that in 2007 they did one referendum that they should not punish those that obtained nationality illegally. That is it. It's not as if it's not illegal.
Okay, but Smith, just let me ask you this as well, because you are saying okay, the article says that it has to be obtained via the national law. But what if their national law allows for exemption? Because that's something that we had spoken about earlier.
There is no exemption.
Are we sure of that?
There's one they call the referendum something they did.
No, I'm saying the Congolese national law. Are you sure that there are no exemptions that can be made?
I will send you a copy.
People.
I'll send you a copy of it. There is no exemption. All those things is just this thing. See, all those things they are obtaining there is through illegal means. See,
so why? Congo, okay, so why Congo, do you think?
See, why Congo are so notorious for this type of thing? Go and check their law. See, go and check under 23. Go and check it. They are so issue of passport. See, what I don't want to go into details, but IoT check their law. They did not have the right to actually have to passport.
Okay, so if this is not possible, so why do you think FIFA has ruled in favor of DR Congo?
They didn't address the case.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
They didn't open the case. They said that it came late. There was no judgment.
So you are saying that they did not even?
They did not. If they address the case, Congo will not be in the playoff.
Are you sure?
That is what they normally do. Yes. See, the issue of all these things IoT is programmed. Forget all these things. See, FIFA in 2002, they told that SAFA did not pay their money too. That's it. See, anytime they don't want to upturn judgment, that's what they say, that people don't pay their money. SAFA paid their money too against Ghana. So sometimes this is what these people normally do. All these things are scripted. IoT, forget those things. They didn't address the case.
What do you think about what Smidlai is saying? Just from your own perspective.
No,
they didn't address the case. There's no judgment.
No, remember what I said earlier. National law says dual citizenship is not allowed. That's the national law, and FIFA places so much premium on national regulations and national laws. Now, Smith has said something that there is no such provision or power or laws that allows the president to make for special exemptions, which I don't agree with. And then, so if, of course, if we're alleging forgery, of course, forgery cannot even be in this instance, because if Nigeria cannot allege forgery. If we allege forgery, we need to get corroborative evidence from Congo to prove that those passports were forged. So I think forgery is out of the question here. The best we can do is to say let's say illegality here, because the law does not allow for dual citizenship or dual nationality. But what I'm saying is, what if the president made a special regulation allowing these players to acquire dual citizenship?
Or reading law.
Of course, well, laws can be developed every day. That's what I'm saying. So if people now say, "Oh, we're going to overrule what the president the president has passed this, it has been gazetted." So I think there are things we're not privy to. So until we get the full grounds of the decision.
Yeah, it's all those things will be. I just want to keep it up. See, all those will be just lucky that they did not come on my channel to come and be saying this nonsense. Don't block them away. See, they know themselves already. Don't remove them quickly. You cannot come and say nonsense on my distance. So, what I'm just trying to say, basically, is that,
guys, sorry. Let me just say, people in the comments, please, let's be respectful. I understand that you might disagree with what somebody's saying, but let's be respectful in the comments.
Anybody can leave them. See, IoT, I don't pay attention to all those things again. Leave them. Let them stop. See, leave them. let me just address something. There's a case with Emina Nsue. I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
about
Nsue,
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
It was alleged to have to have played for Dragon illegally for so many years, and FIFA sanctioned him after the AFCON. When they were trying to get him back to play, he submitted a passport. They had to ask how did he get the passport to play for Equatorial Guinea? So they had to submit their constitution. The Minister of Justice was involved. See, this case on BBC. The Minister of Justice in Equatorial Guinea was involved, submitted the constitution, everything. So the more I think when you are connected with a Spanish-speaking country, you can have both Equatorial Guinea passport and their passport and things like that. You are connected. So that was how they proved that he was eligible to play for Equatorial Guinea. So all those things that they are saying, see, IoT, FIFA, we know. IoT, you said something at the start of this case that it's very hard for FIFA to upturn games because it doesn't help the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
So, and I know that they will do everything not to upturn this game. But everybody will have their day in court. Let's go be in cast. Let's go.
Let me just ask Pius. Pius again from a legal point of view. So, do you think that it is possible that FIFA just did not reveal this case, or maybe they intentionally delayed, and announced just so that there is not enough time for things to rearrange themselves? Do you think that FIFA can actually do that?
So, well, without let me before I go back into law, let us even ask ourselves these questions here. Nigeria have been at the World Cup. I think it's more commercial. It's more beneficial commercially to FIFA. That's the truth. I don't know if you've been to Smith. If you've been to Texas, the number of Nigerians in Houston, I think, is more than that in I don't know, in one place in Nigeria. Yeah, so I think FIFA did everything they ought to have done, and I think they looked at everything they should have looked at before arriving at this decision. That is the truth.
But Pius, the language, FIFA rejects the petition. Does that language imply that it was never looked at, or could they have looked at it?
Yeah. So I do cases every day, and then once you lose a case, so there's what they call operative part of a decision. Operative part. The operative part is the case by the claimant or the respondent is hereby rejected or partially rejected. That is the operative part. So if you now want to know the reason for the rejection, you apply for the grounds of the decision. So, and I think before NFF appeals, NFF cannot appeal based on the fact that the disciplinary committee said your case is rejected. No, if you're appealing, you must appeal against the grounds of the decision. So the NFF will request for the grounds of the decision from the disciplinary committee, the grounds that contains the reasoning behind that rejection. That will now form the basis of the appeal to CAS.
So is it possible is it possible that the grounds can be you did not submit on time? Is it possible that that's the grounds for rejection?
Well, as I don't know, was it Smith that mentioned? Yeah, it's issues of forgery or like, for example, if you look at Article if you look at Article 19 of the FIFA disciplinary code, this about ineligible players, they said the disciplinary committee may act ex officio. Ex officio means they can act without a formal petition or formal complaint before them. They can act on their own authority. So in the case of South Africa, Tebo Mokoena being filed, I don't think any petition was filed in time. I don't think so.
No.
I think it was on the basis of Article 19 sub 3 of the FIFA disciplinary code that says that the DC may act ex officio, act on their own authority to review that matter. So I don't think the issue of forgery, falsification will be rejected on the basis that it was not filed within time. FIFA has the power under Article 19 to look at it ex officio.
Okay, so this case, I mean, Smilai, are you feeling positive that CAS can overturn this decision in our favor?
So for me, I think that if they check the documents very well, I think it's about I said FIFA, I'm not a lawyer, but I just think that if CAS check it, they could be a leeway. But for me, I always say these things that if we want to maintain the integrity of the game, it should be a fair play game. you know, and that's what I might say. If you could not get
I think
to play for Nigeria, and you could not get to Baslawa to play for Nigeria, and some people are saying that they can't. No. I just think that they need to be looked after. So I'm based my argument on what Kuleshula you wrote. I've not got the document of the case. Say that late, and also did not pay the fine and things like that. So I didn't, I want to know, maybe they looked at the case properly. But you said that no, sometimes technicality is statute bar, or what they call it in law, that the case is already, out of time or things like that. So that's what they are saying online. Don't got the official document from FIFA. So, but I would like to see that email is sent to them and see exactly the reason why. That's what we
no. I think that what they send them would never have the reason. What if they say rejected? As I said, that's just the operative part of the decision. They have to request for the grounds. That is when we will now. And if FIFA publishes the grounds, if you go online to the inside, if you go online, if they publish the ground, once you go to insidefifa.com or legal.com, you will see the ground. You see the decision there. So, but the operative parts are not public. It's only when the grounds are requested for them, then FIFA will not publish it online for people to see.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Let me just quickly take comments. So Adedamola says the CAF General Secretary is Congolese. He was the former chief officer in FIFA. Politics could have played a part in the decision. That's what he's saying. Charles is saying FIFA under Infantino has been nothing but pain to us Africans. Thanks to him, that Agbero from Warri they in power for 8 years. So Charles is just not happy with Gianni Infantino's overall. He just celebrated 10 years in charge of FIFA. So.
And sorry, I'll tell you something before I go on to say something. Because I think Odu says that they did everything for Nigeria to be in the playoff. And just their Congo. For me, I think I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think we did not force Africa to use the Bo Mokwena. They used the Bo Mokwena. And rightfully, the points were deducted. And I told you here about the Eritrea situation. Remember you talked about that after Zimbabwe draw? About that. And I said that this is the rule. I did not create the royalty. I don't know anybody in CAF that we say that, okay, you know what, Nigeria, we fit this one for them. They follow the rule. That's why Nigeria played on in the playoff. So it's not as if we went to the back of the playoff. The rule was followed. That's why we got to the playoff. I don't think we got any help from CAF or FIFA.
Okay, Smith, like transition to the CAF decision today. This was a decision day in both international football, global football, and then African football. CAF overturned the result of the AFCON final, gives a 3-0 victory to Morocco. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for me, I think, I don't know what to say. I don't support what Senegal did in the final. I'm going to try and check the rule. I think the rule says that it's like 15 minutes or so if the players are not in the vicinity of the stadium or so. I don't think the rule is clear.
Based on the article that I read, there is no time specified.
Okay, so I don't know. Maybe they say that the players should not be in the stadium or on the pitch. I don't understand that type of rule. But for me, I just think that it's slightly skeptic to take it over. I think the referee decision on that game is final. I know that the players, came back to play that game. Why didn't the referee not call it off? Say that, okay, you know what, you're not coming back again. That's the end of the game. For me, I think is what will never stand the grounds of time. I can hear Moroccans people celebrating already, in the street of Rabat and so on. They won the AFCON.
Even Brahim Diaz was celebrating after their game against.
It would be shameful for me to come and be dancing in the streets when I won in the boardroom.
Okay. Feel like, let me ask you this: don't you think what Morocco is doing and what Nigeria is doing are the same thing?
No. See, let me tell you something. The Nigerian case is different. The Nigerian case is different. Nigeria want to come to the back door. Morocco want to break the ceiling. We have finished playing the AFCON final. And you want to overturn the results. No. Morocco wants to break the ceiling, shatter the whole house, and take the trophy. So for me, I think that I was young when Nigeria lost the final against Cameroon in Lagos. We thought that we scored that penalty. Why did we come for a play? We left and we lost in good faith. There's AFCON as the IoT.
Did we file a petition that time?
Which petition will we file? This Ayatu was there to take the trophy. Which Petition is with the 225. So for me, I just think I know that the rules is part of it. And secondly, to IoT, I have to support Morocco here before I go. See, what Senegal did is not good. And those that heard the petition before finding Senegal the same way, no. That is not good. That is not good. See, if we are to be sincere with ourselves, I don't expect Senegal to play the next AFCON. Honestly. Because, no, see, what they did is a disgrace to Africa. You oppositely, see, it's going to set precedents. You will see people start working out now. Don't be surprised. Next AFCON final, any controversial referee decision now, people go to court. See, this thing is setting bad precedents. This thing that Senegal did is very, very bad. It's very, very bad. It's very, very bad. Nobody should be allowed to do that. Because, see, people will start working off now. What's the example are you setting for other countries?
Do you think...
For me, I expect them to ban them from the next AFCON.
Do you think maybe that's the reason why CAF took this very tough decision? Because they are saying like they don't want somebody else to try this in the future.
It's the appeal committee that did it. The design committee did not say that. The appeal committee that sat on that did it. For me, I think they were bullied to do this thing. I think they were bullied to do these things. I know they follow the rules slightly, but there could be like leeway that Ndala. What is in Ndala's report? The referee that blew that day. What is in his report? They read the report in the first hearing. What now changed? What now changed?
Okay.
What now changed?
Let me take a question here from Uche. Uche says, do you think this situation will be a dent to Motsepe's re-election when CAF election season comes by?
Who want to contest against Motsepe?
What is it?
Who want to contest against Motsepe?
Ibrahim Duso.
It's in CAF that all the elected members of CAF Council, they're loyal to Infantino. CAF is a voting bloc for FIFA, and anybody that contests will win. The moment Infantino say that this is my candidate, that is finished. Forget all those people are now independent.
Pius, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Smith is a better authority here than me.
No. I just think that see, this CAF have been good to some people. East Africa, they don't joke with Motsepe.
True.
They don't joke with Motsepe. See, do you think ordinarily they took extra slots to go and give them for under 17 and under 20? East Africa, Central Africa, South Africa, they don't joke with Motsepe. Half of West Africa don't joke with Motsepe. So where do you want to win from?
Okay, more comments are coming in. Haitian King says, as a Haitian man, Africa, you are disgraceful. Wake up. This is what the racists do. You are allowed.
You should go and sit down.
Yes, disrespect you. Africa is a joke. So that's what Haitian King is saying.
Maybe because Superchat, that's why you are putting it. But for me, I just think that because Superchat, even if somebody abuses me, you go read that. But let me just say something. What Senegal did was embarrassing. And I don't expect Senegal to play in the next AFCON. Honestly, I don't see. Because this is a bad behavior. You are it's a bad behavior. I do expect them to play. I know that South Africa, they are very tricky in terms of all these things. But for me, I think Senegal is a bad behavior. It's a bad behavior. And I think they should not be allowed to actually want to play in the next AFCON. So that's actually my thought.
Well, I disagree with you on that on the punishment, but I agree on the bad behavior.
So but they cannot suspend them from the competition because of this one situation.
When we were meant to go to South Africa to go and defend our AFCON title in '96, and one dictator just asked us to sit down and will give us money and we stay at home. FIFA don't take it lightly with us. Have a CAF. We're not allowed to go to Burkina Faso.
But isn't that because that one is government interference?
that political interference then wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. It wasn't like a clear rule then. But for me, I just think that the moment you break this, because you don't want people to start doing this thing all the time. That's the reason why I think Iran, they're doing everything to play at this World Cup. Because if they even withdraw now, FIFA will ban them.
But would they? I mean, I don't want to get into politics here, but for Iran, isn't their case peculiar? Because that one is a matter of safety for the players and their officials and everybody.
FIFA don't think about peculiarity of any case. See, they ask Iraq to travel 25 hours to go and play playoff. Through those dangerous routes, Iraq, to go and play playoff. Why can't they consider that Iraq is going through this problem? They should postpone the playoff. Because they have spent money on the venue. So I think this FIFA is about money. It's about money making. Whereas we know that it's about money. Money is the name of the game. They have scheduled everything there is. This Faladesima that they cancel, I think they're paying them, so they're just doing it to the like.
Okay. I have another comment here. Samuel Umba says Jamie Carragher is smiling because his statements are justified.
No, that's absolute rubbish. I think this is about legality. Now, we've had these instances in Europe. Kosovo versus Romania, Albania versus UEFA and Serbia. This is not the first time. So this is not the first time we're having such a scenario. So because Africa does not make it.
I think why this one is such a huge deal is because it's the final.
And then the match went to a conclusion, and we had a result. That is why it is unique. We've not had instances. If you look at Kosovo versus Romania, the appeal fight by Kosovo was dismissed by CAS because the referee in his match report said he ordered them directly to resume play, and they refused.
All right.
But yeah, there was no, as Smith said, the match report was I believe it was reviewed and considered in the first instance hearing. That was at the disciplinary committee of CAF. So why did they not arrive at the same conclusion? The referee did not issue any direct warning, and if he issued a warning for them, if he issued a warning to resume play and they refused, so who now brought them back? Did they force the referee to resume the match and officiate the match? Man, that was Morocco. If it was Senegal, I would say that there was undue influence, there was pressure, there was threat. This was Morocco. The referee did what he felt was the best, and so I think this is a unique situation. So,
So I know you have to go, but just one comment here that I want you to take before we wrap up from Charles. So Charles is saying, Smith, it seems Osasu was right about FIFA being silent. He complained that they were delaying the case to overturn any controversial decision. Do you think that FIFA intentionally stayed silent and delayed it for as long as they could?
For me, I think they know about. I agree with what Osasu actually was saying initially about this case. Osasu is a lawyer. He's worked with all these things before in the past. See, for me, I think it's a game. It's a game. Because I also feel for FIFA too, a country that's not been to the World Cup since about 50 years or so. Celebrated the triumph like a party. Doing a party in Kinshasa. So I understand where they're coming from, and I also think that let's look at what the court will see. For me, I knew that FIFA might do anyhow, but I knew that if NFF could go to CAS, we might probably see a clearer picture of what actually happened in CAS.
All right. Thank you very much, Smith, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone that's watching, man, the link has been posted and is pinned on YouTube. So if anybody wants to join us and share their thoughts on the two cases that we have discussed today, now is the time for you to click the link. Make sure that your camera is on. I see two people that are waiting, but please turn on your camera so that we can see you. You won't go on TV and turn your camera off, so don't come here and turn your camera off either. So please, if you want to join us, turn your camera on. Make sure that you're fully dressed. Make sure that we can see you and we can hear you. And I would like to get some thoughts of some of the people in the audience before we wrap up for today. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so I think we've done due justice to this. And I'm really happy that honestly that you came on here, Pius, because if you didn't come on, would have been talking from a fan media point of view. But I'm happy that you were able to bring some legal perspective into this, because even with the Senegal case, the Senegal Morocco case, I'm like, okay, fine. Like now I understand that, I wasn't necessarily thinking about the fact that the game continued, so that introduces a new perspective for me as well. And this FIFA one against the NFF, we just have to wait and see. We just have to wait and see what happens. We really just have to wait and see what happens. So yes, the link has been posted. If anybody wants to join and share their thoughts or ask any questions, now is your chance. I also want to just make an appeal to you guys that if you have not liked the video yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the like button. We've had over 200 people here, but only 69 likes. So please make sure that you hit the like button. It goes a long way for the channel, and it doesn't cost you any money. If you want to spend your money, you can leave a super chat, like people have been doing, but for free, you can support by simply just hitting the like button. And of course, if you are new here, make sure that you subscribe. We are live every single week and we post all sorts of interesting content as well. Initially, I was actually planning to just do a video to talk about the NFF decision, the FIFA decision. But when the CAF one also came on the same day, I was like, I don't want to do two different videos. So let's just do one live stream to get people on to hear different perspectives and get general thoughts on everything. So yes, seems like we're not getting any more callers for the evening. So maybe that is where we're going to wrap it up since there are no new callers. Okay, thank you to those that are liking. More people need to like it, but thank you to those that are liking. I appreciate it. Anybody that's watching on Instagram or on Facebook or on Twitter, I allowed this stream to be on all those other platforms, but remember that normally our live streams, our long form content lives on YouTube. So make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so that you always know when we are live streaming. Okay, I have one person that wants to share his thoughts, so let me bring him on and hear what he has to say. Victor, welcome, Victor.
Yeah, I see.
Are you Victor Kobam?
No. I'm not Victor Kobam.
Okay. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Man, it's my first time on the show.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this question.
Go on.
Actually, so I think actually like, let's go just based on. Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Can you hear me? LT? I think Congo deserves to go through. They like on the field, they like clearly. Yeah.
Victor, your internet is working against you, but go on.
And this,
Victor, you can speak. Go on.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay, Victor. I'll wait 1 minute for you to come back, but your internet connection is really not working. There's the lag and when you're speaking, and it seems like you cannot hear us properly. Final try. Hello, Victor. Yeah. Let's not force it. Victor, your internet is not allowing you to speak, and people in the comments are saying that they cannot really hear you. Okay, so in the absence of any other caller, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Pius, man, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's all right.
Your knowledge. You know, some people are agreeing with you in the comments. There will always be those that disagree as well. That's part of life. That's part of opinions. Everybody has an opinion, but we will be awaiting the decision. We'll be waiting to see what happens with Nigeria in CAS. We'll be waiting to see what happens with Senegal, Morocco in CAS as well. Maybe Senegal will hit you up, man. You don't know. Maybe one Senegalese FA person I was watching this stream and they're like, this Pius, let's let's talk to him.
No, yeah, but my friend already reached out to them. My friend, who's the former director of regulatory at FIFA, he already reached out to them. So yeah, this will be a great case.
All right.
Yeah.
Any final word before I let you go?
No final word. I think these are interesting times. And as I said earlier, this will be a very good decision to set the precedent straight, because we've not had an incident where players left the pitch and came back. Game concluded and the decision was challenged. We've had instances of where players walked off the pitch and cited reasons for walking off and tried to challenge the match of the decision of the referee that the match is a forfeit. But we've not had this instance where players left the pitch. I call it temporarily. They got to be admitted back to the pitch by the referee. The match was concluded. The final result was declared, and then somebody somewhere sat and overturned the decision of the match result, not the disciplinary sanctions, but the match result itself. So I think I think it's straightforward, but maybe I'm looking at it from a particular lens. Maybe, but with the decision of CAS in the next few months, it will create a precedent in the world of football.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pius, man. Nice to
Yeah, same here. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. That was Pius Unuboku. He's a sports lawyer. So if you have any legal cases in the realm of sports, you can always reach out to Pius, man, and he will help you handle your situation. Okay. I have a late caller, but I'm going to take it before we wrap up. Prof. Data, welcome.
Yeah, good day, sir.
Yes. Thank you for joining. Your thoughts?
My dear, I just bumped in home, looked in my YouTube and saw that of CAF awarding this to Senegal. I'm sad.
To Morocco, you mean?
Yeah, I'm sad of Senegal losing this. Because as I said, okay, it was Senegal's 7th February, Monday, 2000. I was in National Stadium. I saw how Senegal nearly left the pitch. And they still played the match. Almost the same thing happened on the final of the AFCON. What's paining me is that, this match was concluded. Because this decision is like making it clear that the referee's presence can easily, I'll use the word, shift aside. You understand? That is what this is making clear. This match was concluded. I agree. Yes, what Senegal did was bad. I agree. And as your Smith said, it was like they were bullied. I like the word he used. They were bullied to come up with this decision. Now, concerning Nigeria and Zaire, or you can call it DRC, in a way I'm sad, but I have looked at it. Because I have a Ghanaian friend. He told me, okay, if this is given to Nigeria, Cameroon has a case. Other countries may have a case. To me, I feel that the what do they call it? Morocco, CAF purposely decided to delay this up to this moment. That's what I see in this matter.
Prof. Data, you've gone blank. We can't see you.
I don't see why they shouldn't have. But I think that they knew maybe if they bring it out too early, it's going to bring out some level of controversy. That is what, in that case of and again, from even though I didn't start your show from the beginning, it seems that there's some things maybe NFF did not do well for them to just reject the petition. I believe strongly there must have been something NFF did not do correctly, because I don't think they would just reject that outrightly.
No, but what just to clarify, what Pius said is that we shouldn't take that legal term to mean that something wasn't done. He's like that is just the general term that they are going to use. But the NFF can now ask FIFA that, okay, what are your specific reasons? Okay. And FIFA would have to give them the specific reasons. But in general, they will just say it was rejected, and then when you request more information, they will now give you a list of reasons why they rejected it.
Okay. Okay, that could be the case, but that decision, because one thing I believe, even though I have not investigated strongly into that, into that DR Congo thing, but one thing I know, I believe strongly, what is clear, those players, or players that got their, their, will I call it passport, or will I say their credentials that will make them deemed fit for that match illegally. I know, I believe strongly. I have not investigated it, but from hearing from Smith and some other people, I believe something was wrong. So I don't know, FIFA, maybe they have a reason why they did that, but is the reason they just said that, rejecting. Let's see if there's any way for, what I call it, appeal or what. There's something Smith called, is that CATS or what?
Yes, they are going to CAS. So CAS is the Court of Arbitration for Sports. So that is the final. Once CAS makes a decision, that decision is final. You can't go anywhere else. So NFF is appealing to CAS, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Okay, it's just a sad day. Both decisions came at the same time. That of Morocco, I am not in support of that decision CAF made. And CAF, as far as I'm concerned, sorry to say it, CAF is a body. It's like they don't want their best to present in Africa. I'll continue saying that. They don't. Especially on this youth level, they're under 17. No. As what Smith said is true. The East Africans don't joke with him. How will you give these people more slots than West Africa? They don't think. At least the U17 tournament, I have a little history of it. In 1985 semi-finals, Nigeria played against Guinea. In 1987, Ivory Coast was in the semi-finals. I think the highest goal scorer of that tournament was from Ivory Coast. Okay, now, to the best of my knowledge, okay, we all know Ghana, Nigeria have been to the, Nigeria has competed in the final twice against 2 African countries. These countries are all West Africa. I remember very well in 2001 that if it wasn't that handball we got that Femi Opamumi used to score, it would have been very difficult to have defeated. And in your own thinking, you give that zone 2 slots. It's very bad. Well, that one pains me. To me, it's better they gave the route that Waffle Zone A 2 than giving Waffle Zone B 2. Because Waffle Zone B has produced more finalists.
All right.
So I think CAF has a problem, but let's watch and see. I'm not happy with both decisions all the same, especially out of Senegal, because the match was concluded. What they're saying now is, okay, Maradona used drug on June 26th against us.
All right. We cannot talk about all those cases, but from later I have to let you go now so that I can just
no
bring
problem, sir.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll just take 2 very late callers, but I'll take you guys on at the same time and then we'll wrap up for today. So Yaya and Adedotu. Yaya, you were here first, but please adjust your camera so we can see your face properly.
What's good, brother?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Where are you from?
I'm Moroccan.
You're Moroccan. Okay. So let's hear a Moroccan perspective. So how do you feel about the decision that was taken by CAF, the appeal committee today?
I'm glad, bro. I'm happy. Happy as fuck. I can't complain. I really can't complain. I think it's a joke for sure. It's funny as hell. All Moroccans are happy with it and they're also laughing at it. But it's rules, man. If you follow the rules, we deserve it. If you follow the rules and if you want a clean football in the future and not other teams doing the same shit that Senegal did, you have to apply the rules. That's my opinion.
Okay, so first of all, please just let's be careful with language a little bit. Some young people watch us. But let me ask you this: based on the fact that the players came back on the field and the game came to a logical conclusion, don't you feel like we should have seen the end of it, and we can now go back and say they left the field.
Well, that's the thing. If we say they came back again and they played the game, that's irrelevant at that point. When you are out of the field for 15 minutes, out of the pitch, you're making chaos in the stadium. Your friends are coming out to the pitch. The players are not in the pitch anymore for 15 minutes. The players are already cold. They can't play football anymore at that point. And then you say, now we can come back. We played our strategy. We made our chaos that we wanted to make to trouble people, to not make it a football game anymore, a mental game now. Now we're back. Now we can play the game. No, it's too late. The referee should have stopped it in the game. But that's the referee mistake. That's why there is appeal system. And when you appeal and you have a system, you have rules, you can win, you can lose. But when the rules is there, Morocco's hosting the game. They have all camera angles. They have everything inside the pitch, outside the pitch, so they can have more proof. And when the people see videos and everything, they can go back, check everything, and they see, 15 minutes outside of the pitch. Why the referee didn't stop the game? That doesn't make sense. And your colleague, I heard somebody said about the Wydad game, where they actually, the Moroccan football, Moroccan club.
Yeah.
So they left the game, the finals in the CAF, and the Champions League of African Champions League. What? That game, they left it and they lost. So they didn't get rewarded by the cup. They actually lost. So if actually they left the game and they won, I will agree. Yeah, that doesn't, excuse my language, that doesn't make sense. That's hypocritical. But they lost the game. They didn't win that cup. So there's no reason the opposite team to appeal to win the cup that they already won. So it didn't make sense for Charaji that time to appeal. This time it makes sense. This will happen again. We need rules so this doesn't happen again. This happened 2 games after the final. 2 games in Europe happened in Turkey and I think in Greece. That one of the teams, they actually left the pitch because of a penalty or something like that. So this happening and occurring more and more, and we need laws. But again, I will come back. This is a joke. To win it after 2 months, it's funny for us. It's really funny for me. But at the same time, I'm glad it happened. Because for sure, Senegal didn't deserve that win. Maybe we didn't deserve it because we didn't play. We didn't win the game. I would have been happy if it was no contest, no winner. But if we won it, then, okay, we take it. In 10 years, 20 years of now, people will forget this happened. And in the archive, we have 2 stars. And if we win the 3rd one, the 4th one, look at Egypt. They have 7 titles. Who remember that Egypt 2 titles? They had it when Hitler was alive. Like when the African Cup was only 3 countries, they won 2 cups. And the 3 cups that they won and straight, you should see the referees, how they played for their favors. Nobody remember this. We only remember numbers, number game. And we can accept it. This is Africa. We have to go with the flow. If we want to win by strength and by humbleness, it's not going to work in Africa.
Let me ask you a question, Yaya, because you mentioned referees, and now you've touched a trigger point, talking about this last AFCON. Do you feel like the officiating was biased towards Morocco in this tournament?
I'll tell you something. The referee is always biased to the home side. This is like a mental thing. When you're playing against the home side, the stands, the fans, the screams, the whistles, as a person, you're a human, you will get influenced by the fans. So that's a normal thing if a referee get influenced by the home side and crowd. But there's a lot to take in the Moroccan games where we didn't get penalties, we didn't get fouls, we didn't get a lot of important things. And it's like we don't see that because it's Morocco. Like, who cares about Morocco not getting a penalty? But when Morocco is not the opposite team of Morocco, not rewarded a penalty against Morocco, then it's a big deal. Then we remember, Tanzania, they should have got the penalty. But you don't remember, in the same game of Tanzania, we didn't get a penalty with the red card. And it's all like, we can watch the game, but nobody cares because we're the favors. People love underground stories. So when there's an underground, we favor the underground. I get it. That's why we have what happened to us in the World Cup. Everybody was on our side because we were the underground. But now, because we are favors and everything, it's mental. As humans, we are like this. But I don't see it as favoring. I see it as when you're the home, you get that situation when the referee is more stressed. He wants to favor it. We see Real Madrid, the same thing. Any team, Barcelona, when they play in Camp Nou, It happens to every single team. It's not something that is special for Morocco.
Okay, one more thing that I'll ask you before I'll let Adedoton speak. How about the antics, of the players taking the towels, all the other distractions that happened around that final? What do you think
Yeah,
about
so back to that towel thing, you will see a lot of videos in African competitions, like in not Morocco, like African Champions League, where this towel thing happens in many games, but those games are irrelevant, where you literally see it's not about North Africans against Sub-Saharan Africans. It's like every team they can play with, you see this towel thing, because there's like this dark magic, black magic that I don't believe in. I think it's bullshit to believe in magic in a football game. That like, okay, a towel with magic that gonna stop us from scoring. But there's those mental games that people play, and I can send you videos of African Champions League games where this happened, where they were fighting over towels, they were getting red cards, etc. And then also there's rules, I think, in FIFA that nothing is allowed in the pitch, like no equipments, no necklace, no ring, no nothing, no towels, etc. stuff. And I never seen a Champions League game where goalkeepers have towels in the net. Like if you watch games of tonight, Real Madrid, Courtois or whoever.
But the goalkeepers might not have towels, but they always have bottles.
Yeah, I think then a bottle would be like for water for like certain reasons. I think it's, to be honest, it should be allowed. Like a towel should be allowed. If it's raining, you want to wipe his gloves or something, it should be allowed. But that's the thing. It's in Africa. It's so different. There's a lot of weird things in Africa. So this is not Morocco created this thing. Oh, remove the towel. There's black magic. We see this. We see
But,
like
but don't you think it was a little bit like embarrassing on Morocco's part?
It was, I think, yeah, it was definitely. But all of this is mental games. Like what Senegal did is embarrassing. Like what Senegal did, all that chaos is actually like that's disgusting. Like if you watch football, you're like, why these people trying to leave the game for a fair penalty? That was a fair penalty.
Depends.
That was clear as day penalty. That was the craziest pool ever. Like just watch it slowly and understand that's a penalty. No favorism, no like underground stories. Just watch the game. It's a penalty. But yeah, it's we want to play the mental with the goalkeeper. We wanted him to be like worried about the towel and stuff like that. But it was not needed. We didn't need it, to be honest. It was a joke, to be honest. This whole CAF was a joke. But I'm glad that it turned out this way, to be honest. I'm happy, man. You can hate on us. I'm good. I'm happy.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I did not to take it up from there. What do you think?
Thank you very much. I think I love his knowledge of football, but just as it's been, which is normal, it's been biased towards his own country, which is not in football. You can't cast your own away. But I need to put something to you now. Why Dad did not continue that match? Okay, that's the first there, and I agree with you. The referee should have stopped the match when the Senegalese were out on the pitch for over 15 minutes. But mind you, their captain, Sadio Mane, was on the pitch. Mane was on the pitch. It was even Mane that was calling the players back. Went to the dressing room and calling the players back. I know. If you walk off the pitch for a stipulated time, the referee, being the alpha omega of the game, has every right to award walkover to the team. But for the Senegalese to have come to the pitch, for the Moroccans to have played the penalty, and for the game to have gone to extra time, and for Senegalese to have won that match, I think that did not call for any protest again. That match was won by Senegal. I'm going to say this now. I'm sorry you take it the way you want to take it, bro. CAF actually gave this judgment in favor of Morocco because CAF is benefiting from Morocco when it comes to the hosting of competitions. Because CAF is kissing the Morocco's ass. That's why they gave you the order that free to you. Because I remember that Morocco was telling CAF that if you don't do anything, by now, AFCON is supposed to be going on. But they say, because of a league, of league, You play these antics with CAF because CAF is really begging Morocco for facilities. If it was in the past that many countries were able to host African competitions, this would not have gone your way. This would not have gone the Moroccan way. But I love you. I love your honesty. You
Yeah,
said it was I love your honesty. You said, but man, sorry for the loser, lucky for the champion. Because it favors you, you have to celebrate. If it happens to Nigeria, we also celebrate. But
yeah,
it is a slap on football. This is a disgrace to African football. The last AFCON before you all in Cote d'Ivoire, people were saying that even Europeans should go and learn how to host competitions, how to officiate from the Africans. But now we are going back.
yeah,
What happened in Morocco is a disgrace to football. I must tell you.
yeah.
It's
No worries. It's your opinion. I will just reply to you quickly. I think for the hosting part, there's no debate that the hosting part we are the best hosters in history for CAF. Like we can't talk about hosting. Hosting was perfect. Like it was more than better than European level. The hosting part, not the officiating. Officiating referees, whatever. We can negotiate that, but the hosting we don't talk about it. That's first thing. Second thing, the refereeing again. It's all about like it's about how you view a country. So when Morocco is playing better, is becoming, a scary country in football and everything, people will start hating it. It's a simple thing. When they win in everything, we won the Cup of Arab before that. We won the World Cup under 20. We're winning. People will start like not liking us anymore. It's a simple mental thing about humans, how we act. If I see Nigeria winning and winning, winning, I'm gonna okay. I support Nigeria the first time, but come on, leave us something. We want to win too. Like I'm gonna start hating on Nigeria, especially if we are in the same like continent. I want to be the best in the continent, so that's one thing. So in Cote d'Ivoire was different because Cote d'Ivoire was actually the underground. They were like barely passed by group stage. They maybe didn't even win a game in the group stage. So everybody, oh my God, the return, the comeback, the remontada. Everybody was supporting. We supported Cote d'Ivoire. Everybody supported. So it was nice. It was beautiful. The whole story, it was a mystery. But in Morocco, nobody liked Morocco in this cup. Everybody wanted to lose. Everybody was against us. It's all good. We get it, as I told you. But about the game again, Mani actually left the pitch for a long time. He actually went to the locker room. So no Senegalese player was in the pitch or outside, even in the barriers. You have to be inside the lines of the pitch. If 11 players leave that and they go to the locker room, which Sadio Mane had to bring the players from the locker room for like 5 minutes, nobody was in the pitch. It should be whistled. So anybody can appeal that and get, if they lost the game, and get their game back and win it. Rules are rules. I think the rules were applied. Is this a joke? Yes, it's a joke. But the rules were applied and we won. This is gonna be forgotten in many years. We're gonna have 2 stars, and we're gonna move
Wait,
on.
let me ask you a question. So, based on how Morocco have appealed, this decision, and now they've got it overturned, in parallel, Nigeria also appealed a decision to FIFA for the DR Congo situation. Do you think it's the same thing that Nigeria is doing?
Wait, the DR Congo was the game about qualifying to the World
Yes,
Cup, right?
the qualifying playoffs. Yes,
That happened in Morocco, actually,
that
right?
happened in Rabat. Yes. So
Yes.
Nigeria is saying that some of the Congolese players, they have dual nationality, but their constitution does not allow for dual nationality. So Nigeria is telling FIFA that Nigeria should be going to the playoffs, not DR Congo. Do you think it's the same thing?
So that's the thing. I'm not a professional about like rules of
Yeah.
football, FIFA or CAF, but rules are simple. So the rules in the situation of Morocco is that the rule number 84 is that when a full team of players or a squad of players leave the game is forfeited. And then that it gives you the rule of 82. 82 says when that happened, when 84 happens, 82 is applied and it's given 3-0 to the winner, to the team that didn't leave the pitch. So 84 connects to 82, gives us 3-0. If there's a rule that says if dual nationalities exist, then they're not applied to allowed to play the game, and that rule gives you a 3-0 win, then you should get the 3-0. But I don't think that will happen in your case. It will be maybe fines, penalties, money, but not 3-0 because I don't think it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's rules. There's a rule book. We follow it and we see what happens. But yeah, if you deserve it, you deserve it.
All right.
I think let me quickly
Yeah.
add. Yeah. Let me correct one impression that you said. Is that here? This is my brother here will tell you all of we here that for years we have been clamoring that Nigeria should adopt the method of Morocco when it comes to football development. Nobody, before what happened now, nobody hated Morocco. We all love Morocco. We all use Morocco as an example that now Morocco is doing the right thing. Now, winning the under 20 World Cup, we're not surprised. You win the under 70, win all the competitions. Even your ladies get to the final of the AFCON. We were not surprised because we saw the underground work you guys were doing. You know, you started from the scratch, from the grassroots. You poured money into your football. You built facilities, and now it paid off. So we are all saying that we should emulate the Moroccans. For information, bro, nobody hates Morocco. But the
No.
only problem we have is that because what just happened now, I
Yes,
must
yes,
say
yes.
nobody is praying for Morocco to go down.
No. I
That's
didn't
just
mean.
it.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Actually, thank you very much. But I didn't say it like as a hatred. I meant like it's like this envious feeling that everybody has as humans. So let's say when Egypt won 3 cups in a row, and I like my best friend is Egyptian, but I didn't like it that much because I was like, man, you guys win it every year. Like, I'm a little bit envy of Egyptians winning every year and having 7 cups. I'm envy. I'm gonna be honest. Nigeria, if they play so good and they reach the World Cup and they do a lot of things, I'm gonna be happy. But if it happens too many times, because we're neighbors, we're in the same continent, we're gonna be envy of each other, and I think that's like siblings. It's very normal to have. But hatred, no. Nobody hates nobody. Like it's a game at the end of the day.
Okay. Okay. This is the last person I'm going to take this night.
Okay.
Humble Henry wanted to come on. He said he wants to say something to you, Yaya. Okay, so Humble Henry, go on.
My question to you is: are you happy that CAF said that Morocco should be the champion?
Yeah, man. I can't complain. I'm not gonna say it's like happiness mixed with like it's funny. It's like it's a joke. It's like we're not taking it serious. Like when I go to social media, everybody's making memes and making music on the video of like Senegalese getting the trophy, but it's like in reverse. So they're getting the trophy removed from them. So it's like jokes, it's memes.
Okay. Do you know that Morocco has made Europeans to look at Africa as a small tournament?
Again?
Do you know that what Morocco has done right now has made so many Europeans to look at AFCON as a small tournament?
Yeah, we got to go back to where's the fault? Where's the first initial mistake? And when we go back and regress, we find that Senegal had the
initial mistake is from Morocco. Let me start from there.
Well,
When Nigeria defeated Morocco during the AFCON, you guys know what you guys did, all right?
Nigeria won against Morocco in AFCON?
No,
In
the women's
in
AFCON.
WAFCON, you know what you guys did, right?
In the final?
Yeah.
Yes, you know what you guys did.
No, I don't.
What did they do?
Okay, you guys now went and petitioned Nigeria that we feeded somebody that is not eligible to play for Nigeria. They went and reported Nigeria. That is what Morocco did. Huh?
Did we
They
succeed?
want to win by armies.
Yeah, of course. Like I'm telling you,
Which is not sportsmanship, which is not entertainment.
Mm.
If that would be the case, it's no longer a tournament. It's no longer entertainment.
No, but let me ask you a question. So, because I don't watch women's football, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think it was hosted in Morocco too, and the final Nigeria won, right?
Yes, it hosted in Morocco. Yes.
Yes. So then we appealed, but Nigeria still has the cup right now. We didn't. Win.
Yeah. Why did you go and appeal? Must you win by army? Must you win by through the back door? Why must you be at the back door?
Yeah, yeah.
Must it be at the back door that you have to tell FIFA do this to win it? No. Okay, let's take for example, Senegal left and they came back and they gave you all penalty and you missed the penalty.
Let's not discuss about the penalty because I have a lot. It doesn't make no sense the penalty, but let's not talk about it.
Therefore, whose fault?
Again, it's really simple. For me, it's not complicated. For me, it's like we have a rules of like a book of rules, right? There's
Mhm.
like a book of rules for this game. And this game in Africa, we have this Confederation of African Football Clubs or whatever a federation. That
Mhm.
we follow their rules. Their association, we follow their rules. If they say you can appeal, and this appeal will give you the win, that's
Mhm.
fair enough. Like
Mhm.
there's no shame in doing that. It's like you. I meet you somewhere, and you do something criminal. Let's say assault me or cross me or like
Yeah.
scream. If I get the money from suing you, I will do that.
So which means now football is now that if I
I give you
win,
no.
I will
Just
go to court.
an
Wait,
example. It's an example. It's an
so
example.
now,
No, okay,
For
but
me, it's
humble,
fair.
humble. Let me ask you this because I've been asking
okay,
people this. What Morocco did to Senegal? They
uh-huh,
lost the game on the field, but they went to appeal.
uh-huh.
Is that not the same thing that Nigeria is doing to DRC? We lost the game on the field to DRC, but we also went to appeal to FIFA.
No, it's not the same.
Why is it different?
It's not the same. This one is what? One is, let me use another example. You go for exam and you did examination malpractice. We said, FIFA, look at this. These people, based on the law, if they are not legible to play, look at the matter, look at the situation. But this one is somebody has finished playing football. They left. Hold on, no, this is what Argentina did, though. They only gave them a fine. This one is they were playing, they left, they came back, they gave Morocco a penalty, they missed the penalty. The game entered into extra time. Hey, and they won extra time.
Mm.
I now went back and said, I want to know how this thing is.
But
Assuming that,
yes,
hold on. Assuming that is immediately that Senegal went into the referee said it's over. Okay, we're not the better. Okay, no problem. That is the rule. But this one that they went back, they called them. You see, right? Referee accepted. Let's continue. Okay, you know what? Give them the penalty. Let them play. Senegal accepted the penalty.
yes. But you're forgetting a very big important thing,
Uh,
which is the concept of appealing. That's why there's something called appealing to the court. If a team comes back and accepts to continue the game, and then the game goes on and we win or they win, that's irrelevant because when you appeal, that means the game is already finished and there's something wrong with the game results or the game situation that I am appealing against to change that situation. So when the court, let's say, sends somebody for a sentence, he can appeal and change the whole sentence and become an innocent. You can change the result of an outcome. That's a game.
but see, do you know what? Do you know what? I'm looking at the beauty of the game. It's no longer the beauty of the game because now,
Yeah.
now,
I mean,
Morocco
VAR, we
has
have
started
VAR.
it.
If we listen, if we do this argument of the beauty of the game, we have to remove VAR. We have to remove a lot of rules of like if you
There
slow
is
the
no. See,
no,
if
no,
No,
that
no, Umpire, you don't
no,
get
see,
it.
this is
Umpire,
the
what
beauty
I'm
of the
trying to
game
say.
is the real
no
game.
the beauty of the game. The beauty of the
Game.
game. See, the beauty of the game is the tournament. Okay, they have finished the tournament. They gave the cup. They gave the medal. Now, I'm trying to see how you see if you go to all the whole sports TV station right now, that is what people are talking. They have given the medal. Okay, now you are now going to call the players to return their medal, right? Oh, to God, who made me? Me.
Hey,
Hold on now.
we don't care about the middles, man.
Okay. Is it the
It's a
problem?
piece
Okay,
of
you
gold,
care
man.
about the cup.
It's a piece of gold. I can get some gold and just hammer it
I
and give
see.
me a medal. Hey,
Jesus. God, I mean,
I'll
so
be honest
you
with you.
you want okay, hold on. You want okay, you want the go you want the cup. right?
Now listen. For me, what matters
What do
because
you what do you want?
we have
Let
to
me know.
remember. We have to remember. It's African football, my brother. It's
Uh-huh.
so shady. Look at Egypt. Look at Ghana. Look at Nigeria. Look at Cote d'Ivoire. Look at the history of African football. When
Uh-huh.
one tournament was so fair and everything was perfect.
Hello.
Single.
Yeah. I was live at the stadium year AFCON 2000 that we hosted. See,
No, Jega,
referee
were
did
you
not
born in
favor
2000?
us
Wait,
in any way.
Mr. De, wait. Were you
Yeah.
born in 2000? Were you born in 2000?
Ooh.
Yeah. He's
Yeah, were
asking.
you
Me?
born in
No, 1990.
Mr. De,
No,
you need to explain to him.
No,
Yeah.
'94.
I was born, but not in 2000. I was born 1995.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
AFCON 2000.
Mm.
We hosted it. Referee did not favor us. In fact, referee was biased to us. We lost. Our players scored a penalty just because they celebrated. Referee ruled it out, so we lost. Go and do your research in football.
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay.
please. Nigeria happens to be one of the few countries that even when they are hosting and it's not going their ways, we don't complain. Instead of our complaint, we boo our players. Go and check history of football.
Yeah,
We are never shady when
Okay,
it comes
guys,
to
Yeah.
football.
we have 3 minutes left. So
Okay,
everybody,
now see, yeah,
3 minutes left.
somebody said that appeal. See, when a tournament becomes something like let's go and appeal, you are destroying the beauty of the game, which is not good.
listen.
Right? No,
Yeah,
let's be honest. If
I
it is
agree. I
Nigeria,
agree.
let me
I
tell you,
agree.
tell
Yeah,
you the truth. If it
yes,
is Nigeria,
yes,
right,
yes.
I will not support that. If it is
You're just
Nigeria,
saying it.
people
I think
knows me
you're
for
lying,
that.
my brother.
No,
I don't
ask
believe you.
them.
But
Ask
let me
them.
tell you something.
Hold on. You don't know me, right? Ask them. If it is
I don't
Nigeria
know you,
that
but
do
I
this,
think you are not true now.
hold
I
on,
don't know
hold on.
you, but
If it is
I think
let me
this.
tell you, no,
I can
let
have
me
my
tell you the
opinion.
fact. Wait, ask people around that knows me. If it is Nigeria that went for this appeal
Hey,
after
it's
the
your,
World Cup,
hey,
eh?
man, it's your
No.
opinion.
I'm telling you my own
Okay,
personal
Yes,
my
yes,
can
yes, 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 yes.
I
Let me
think Omweri,
let
they
me
took
let me
let,
say
let me
this
advantage
now.
just
of
reply.
the legal
okay,
system
guys. Oh yeah, wait,
and the football.
hold on, hold on. Why,
That
see,
was it.
we're running out of time. So let everybody will just get their last points.
Yes.
So no replying. Humble Henry, have you
Yeah.
finished your points?
Okay. Now let me say this.
Okay, 20 seconds.
If
Finish your point.
if it is me, if it is Nigeria, I will not accept it. I will not allow them to do this. If they win you at that play, let it be. And therefore, now Morocco is now sure this is the first time in the history of AFCON for something like this to happen.
Mm.
And it doesn't, in fact, the CAF president, if he's listening, tell him that he's the worst I have ever seen. Worst I've ever seen. Any South Africa that is here, record me telling that he is the worst. So if I see him face to face, I will tell him he has been compromised. Not
Okay.
because of people are and Morocco give us come and play in our land, come and play in our field. We give them everything. No,
All right, all right.
everybody's equal. I
Thank,
say it. Yeah.
thank you, Humble Henry. Okay, yeah. 1 minute, your
No,
final
yeah,
point.
my final statement is that every time we want to blame someone, we have to go to the whole story. We go back to the match. We go back to what Senegal did first. We go back how the match was run by them. Their France was hitting cops and hidden citizens and innocent people. What happened in Senegal to some Moroccan civilians. But let's not make this political because I love my Senegal brothers. But we have to be logical. What we did is right. Yes, it's right. We have a full book of rules that we followed. We appealed. We won. This is what works in real life. And nobody comes and tells us, "Hey, play fair, play nice, be nice, make the tournament beautiful." If we're not playing against nice people, we're not playing against innocent people. We're playing against some people who want to play with our mental. They don't want to play the game in football. They don't. They have a lot of things included in the football game. So we're not gonna play in the same game as like, okay, we be nice and we play the nice football. We did this in the World Cup, but African Cup is different. We need a different mentality, and we adapted to that. And when you go see the match of the final, you see how dirty it was. We gotta play dirty. Who play dirty with us? Fair and square. It's a joke. Definitely is a joke. But there's always a first time to everything, and this is the first time that we get it back. Let's
All
go.
right, thank you. Yeah. I need to final point.
Yeah,
1 minute.
thank you for see. I want to say this. Am I happy with what just happened? No. this is a bad president for football. It has never happened in the history of football. It has never happened in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in South America. It's never happened before. It has never happened before. I think all South African countries should stand behind Senegal and boycott the next AFCON. But now, Yaya says something. I agree. I picked something from what Yaya said, that Morocco is just taking advantage of the law that is there in football, that you have the right to appeal anything. And mind you, now countries will start appealing. If we had known, we would have appealed in 1988 when our starter just died and was scored a clear header, and the next number ruled it offside, would have appealed. Now, going forward, any match we lose, we must what? Appeal. That's just it.
Yeah, if you have the right.
Thank you.
I think those rules didn't exist in 1998. There was no rules there. You couldn't
All right.
appeal.
Thank you very much, man. This has been very informative, entertaining, everything. But yes, we have to end it now. We're over 2.5 hours into this program. But yes, yeah, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on. I like the fact that we're able to get a different perspective on this. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I wish a Senegalese man is here. Honestly,
Thank you for coming. Thank you for your point.
Thank you so much, IoT.
All right. And Mr. Adedotu, thank you as well. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
And yes, my final thanks is for every single person that has watched this video, everybody that has been informed, entertained, whatever you got out of this. This has been a very good one. We had Olu from the Nigeria Football Weekly podcast on. We had Pius Ndubuku, who's a sports lawyer, to give us a legal perspective on all the decisions that have been made, both the FIFA decision as well as the CAF decision to award the AFCON 2025 final to Morocco instead of Senegal. And I mean, the more this case develops, the more we're going to talk about it. When Nigeria's appeal is heard, whatever the decision is, we'll talk about it again. Senegal is probably going to appeal this decision as well. When that decision is made, we'll talk about it again. If you are new here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're live every single week, sometimes multiple times a week. This is the second live stream this week, and it's only Tuesday. And there's a lot of content, interviews, analysis, reactions, and so much more that you can find on the channel. My name is Ayoti. This is Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. And I will see you guys in the next one, man. Have a wonderful night, wonderful morning, wherever you may be in the world. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.